Got Peabody, how you doing?
Lofa, I'm muted. Lofa.
Yeah, how you? Can you hear me? One second. Can you hear me, Dr. Peabody? Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay.
The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they can lie. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why does you lie? Why does you steal? Why does you allow the citizens to grieve? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they can knock the government. No one to trust. My people don't want to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, instead they delay. People suffer. No work, but people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they can knock the government.
Ain't God that lied to us. We're tired with the lies, the deception, and everything else that comes with the political rhetoric.
We're tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they can knock the world. I said we tired with their lies.
James A. Koyate Jr.,
their promises,
Moya Sharif,
our damages.
Thompson B. Bowles,
Fish they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us.
Madam Sarah Dopo.
So why does you lie? Why does you steal? Why does you allow the citizens to grieve?
Madam Asata Miller, good evening, closing argument family. I'm watching live from Soul Clinic community. Good to be on the show tonight.
Use us and later on abuse us. So why?
Madam Bertha Stewart, welcome to the show. Why? Henry Doe, watching from Massachusetts, Boston. It's good to have you guys.
The people fool us.
The people fool us.
The people lie to us. The government betray us.
Thompson B. Bowles is watching from Sydney, Australia. Looking forward to a great show today.
The people fool us.
Bella, we are here.
Lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they can knock the government. one to trust. My people don't want to hope on.
No one to trust, no one to hope on. The government betrayed the lie, and they're telling us false and false and false.
They said they go afford, but they're too selfish.
The big Christian Robert himself, always watching from a good to Nimba County.
They have enough of time, but yet
Most talk about Christian Robert himself.
no work for people crying for hunger.
Premier follower of the closing
In
argument.
your mission, your intention to then
The protester.
you got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
Lieutenant Varney, this government lies too much. The citizens have responsibility to ask them to resign or step down.
The people lie to us. The government betray us.
Nudie Luberson, following from rehab community. All of you following from far and near, we appreciate you. Do us due diligence, share the show.
The people lie.
Invite somebody, tell somebody else. The closing argument is on.
They can lie. They can
Get your radios together. Get your gadgets together. Dr. Peabody is back. And the closing argument is here to do what we're supposed to do. Mama Liberia is the best, and we are here.
tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why can you lie? Why can you steal? Why can you allow the citizens to breathe? You see, we just tell you.
Coming to you live from the people city of Raleigh, the state of North Carolina. I'm Lofa Julius.
You screw us, you use us.
Alongside your host, Dr. Peabody.
Why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
And to all of you joining us from far and near, we say thanks for being a part of this platform. Thanks for being so committed.
The government betray us.
Share the video, invite somebody, tell somebody else. The closing argument is on.
They lie. People fool us. People lie to us. The government betray us.
The government betrayal. Dr. Peabody, you ready? You better get into this.
Richard Stewart, good to see you, man. Richard, other guys, Christian Roberts, everybody. Lofa, good to see you again. Good to see you last Friday.
Yeah.
And PA, it was really, really good to see you. I mean, it's been a very tough, busy week. We have weddings, we have funeral of a young 18-year-old young man, very promising young man. It was
Right.
very, very sad on the family. As I think about that, it always it gets to me.
Dr. Peabody, give me a second to welcome the people chairman himself, the honorable Ben himself, Ben Sanvee, the soon-to-be chairman, and now, of course, we can't stop at that part, the representative of the district to be known shortly, then moving up to be the next senator of a county that we are yet to disclose. Ben Sanvee, welcome to the closing argument.
Welcome, Chairman Ben. Welcome. But it is so good. Clary Kuju Mala, welcome. So welcome, guys. This is today's edition of the closing argument. Closing argument is back. I need to make an announcement now, Lofa. We are coming up with General next month. We're going to have, because you know what? The people have been on our back.
Yes.
Why you can't have show on Thursday? Why you can't have show on a Tuesday? And we are trying to do it, but folks, it's expensive. Let me be honest with you guys. It's expensive to have a show 5 days a week. We support ourselves. The noise stuff people be making noise 1 minute or that this station that we support ourselves here. We don't have money. We are not rich like other people. We support ourselves. So what we're planning to do next month, we want to have a fundraiser, folks. If you guys want to keep the show going, we want to have a fundraiser next month. We want to give everybody a chance the next 2 weeks to just think
Right.
about a special gift you can give for us to keep the show going. A special gift. Our goal is to raise at least $5,000
I'll
next
tell you.
month.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you something. I'll tell you something quickly, Dr. Peabody. You notice I'm here today, like on the dot 5 o'clock, right?
yeah,
And this weekend, of course, we were together in Philadelphia,
right.
uh, PA, due to that funeral. And believe it or not, even though we were at a funeral, people kept coming up, and appreciating the work we are doing. Oh, Lofa, thank you guys for what you're doing. We really appreciate it. And I was all concerned. I was like, okay, we hear the good things. Thank you, but I'm all about improving. What can we do better? And almost 90 to 98% of their concerns were simple: the inconsistency on the start time of the show. Okay,
Yeah,
they were like, "You guys are inconsistent. One day you're starting at 5 o'clock, the next day you're coming at 4:30, the next day is 4:15. So we are not, up to date with the schedule. And so hopefully you guys can work on that." And then the second in line was, how often can we come on to hopefully the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and if possible Fridays if we could. And so that's why I was like, you know what? I was in when I was in PA. That's what I heard, and then I was opportune to come back home where I went to Durham. And in Durham, I heard the same thing, the same complaint, but overwhelmingly, people are appreciative. They were so glad that we are making this effort, and I'm telling you, it was a warm welcome from young people my age, elderly folks, and everybody was just coming on and recognizing and appreciating the work that we do. And the funny part about it is not funny, but actually the realistic part about it is almost all of them have their favorite president on the show.
hmm
You have the person, oh yeah, Dr. Peabody, that's my man right there, man. I like
yeah.
it when he get good. And then go to the other person, oh yeah, Grace, what's that lady? That lady, the one that always on there. Going back and forth. Yeah, Grace. Yeah. I had some other women that came up to me. Oh, you know what? We haven't been seeing this lady on the show. Why you guys didn't want to bring her back? You don't like the woman that she tell you guys the truth. Men don't like to hear the truth. I said that's not true. We did not stop Grace from coming on. Everybody had their their favorite panelists, but in it all, they appreciate the sacrifices that are being made, and most
Oh,
importantly,
but what a problem. You know I had the most fans over there. So why you can't just say
you know, no,
just
of
say
course,
don't be
of
ashamed.
course, the incoming representative had the most.
Nobody gonna stop this is doggy. I beg you. I beg
Of
you.
course, obviously he had the most fair. Everybody had to ask about Ben Sanvee, but I had to kind of play it off because it's getting on the hill now. Like Ben comes on the show when he wants to, and he shuts everybody off. So now I'm feeling like
Oh
we need to
God.
kind of shout at him and pull him away a little bit because
Look at Bella. Bella said she got my daughter Neil. She said we need more of Ben. There's a lot of especially and Peabody knows this more than I do.
Mhm.
He has a lot. The where my kids are now in school is where Peabody just coming from, right? His kids are transitioning down from. So I just got a middle schooler, and then there's all these different activities. Lofa, the same thing. I told everybody. So
yeah,
there's all these balancing act, right, that you have
right.
to put in place. And but definitely we love the show. I mean, I think that's the reason we kept it. That Peabody, right? I told him from the right after the election, I told him, I said, I'm not doing talk show again. I'm tired like bro.
Right, right.
Enough. I'm gonna leave it. Y'all can continue with it, but there's something about just staying informed and reaching out to our people and talking to our people. Then obviously I got my Grace, who she's my favorite on this show. I mean, I don't care anything y'all want to say. The only woman who can get vexed with me, but she know how to get vexed with me and put me in my place. But no, it's great though. It's great. I'm excited to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Grace. And what we're
Thank you.
good to see you, Grace. You know what we're talking about that next week we're going to set aside a day where we're going to generate some funds on this show for the closing argument. You guys love it. You love the show. You guys have been the pillow, and I believe you guys can make it happen. You guys can give. Our goal next month, I think it's going to be the third week in September. We want to raise $5,000 for the closing argument. So that our activities, we are expanding, we are getting bigger. We are extending in Liberia very, very fast. We got the guys at Hot FM, the guys at Truth FM, you know, they are our pillow, and we got Simpson on the ground, who's going to kick up things very soon. And guys, y'all want us to come on 5 days a week. I know it's not easy, man. I get to work 4 o'clock. I got to drive 45 minutes home, and then make sure we get this time. We want to keep it going. We'll do it. We'll do our best. But you guys got to help us. Let me make this clear. There's nobody funding our show here. We do it from our pockets. Everybody chip in, and we do it. So you two can help us chip in. We want to give you the date. We're going to bring this announcement. Maybe Lofa will do an ad for us. And we'll just play that little demo for the next few weeks as we get the show going. But we want to make this happen. I met a lot of people like you, Lofa. I was at a wedding, then I went to funeral. I went to a funeral first, and then I went to a wedding the same day, Friday. And oh guys. You know, I said, gentlemen, let's celebrate. I'm here for a wedding. Let's celebrate and stuff like that. But it was just everywhere you turn, and you go together, you drink, you got to stand up and chat for like 20 minutes before you come back. You know, but we want to make this happen, Grace. We want to make it happen.
So it means that you guys are stars.
Not really. I don't want.
Well, if you kind of look at it, to be honest with you, I was looking at it from the bigger picture. I was like, okay, that means we are making a major impact. Folks in the diaspora and here. To be honest, when I came back home in North Carolina, in Durham, I went for a soccer game. Like I promised the people, I would score a couple goals, and I like to under promise and over deliver. I scored 3. Goals, man. Oh yeah.
Which football you are playing? Which one?
What do you mean which football? I said I scored goals. I didn't say I made touchdown. You talking about which football? I play soccer.
Ben. No, I said which soccer you are. Okay, I'm from Liberia, so I said football. You see why I'm talking about Peabody? I said football. I said touchdown. We have no call it football.
Okay, all right. Globally, it's called football, but anyway, okay, that's what I meant, football. But to be honest, let me talk about let me at least share my success story. And
he saw you?
No, I did this in Durham.
Oh, Durham.
Yeah, it was in Durham. It was. There were several people. Come on, Ben. Don't do that. Video all over the social media. Look, Ben, one thing that I regret, and let me just say shout out to all the guys that came out to play. Jesse, Adams. It was so many of us. We played IE versus Barrow, and then we played the Hispanic International. So look, Ben, I scored 3 goals, and I sat down and thought to myself, Lord, why did I retire so early? I could have been the only person to take Lone Star to the World Cup. Don't lie. Look, Ben, I said to myself, I think I'm kind of selfish because I probably was the only person.
Answer Christian.
How many minutes you play for? We'll talk about that later. No, okay. So here, IE versus Barrow, we play both sides 20-20. All right, 20 minutes each half. That was it. And then the Hispanic versus Lone Star, we played that. We went 25-25, and that was it. But I still, the issue here is the fact that I scored 3 goals. You know how one person scored 3 goals. Look, I was wondering if I could still come back and play for Lone Star. Matter of fact, going forward, I'm going to start practicing more so that I'll leave this whole political discussion. I'll leave it with you guys and go back home so that I can represent Liberia. I probably may just be the guy to take Lone Star to the World Cup because I dribbled those boys like they never. I was dribbling them. Oh my God, Ben!
You know this. We just listening to you, right?
Ben, I hope you also agree. I hope you also agree with me.
That we just listening to you.
Yeah. So Ben,
But
Look,
man,
I am
listen,
so good, man. I'm so good at soccer.
in Raleigh, North Carolina. Can you imagine that?
But that's my point.
And the thing is that the luck is past fine. You know, it was at that particular time. Is it going to be continuous
No
thing that you
witness.
can do?
No
So,
witness.
you know, and then we don't have any witness.
No witness. I
Yeah,
dare
look,
you
yeah,
call,
witnesses.
call a witness on the show. Call a witness right now. Call.
Thank you. See,
Yeah,
matter of fact, here's some Big Smoke.
Wow, the message is called hat trick. When you
You know what? You know what I mean? Hat trick.
When you
You know what I mean?
it is called hat trick.
All right, Jesse Adams, guys, please call the show and just try to validate the information I'm providing here, because Ben, I couldn't even go get my own water. I had to sit and they brought the water to me to drink. They're like, be quiet. Yeah,
They
be
probably
quiet. That's the need. All right, I'll leave you guys alone, man. But going forward, call me Soccer Lofa.
Anyway,
Oh,
yeah,
so funny. So your knee is no longer Lofa Julius, your knee is Soccer Lofa.
Soccer Lofa.
Soccer Lofa.
See, somebody asking me, what wing were you playing? I was on the far right. You know what wing is that? That's number 7. The fastest on the field. All I needed to do, touch the ball and dribble people and just run, man. Go. You know what? I'll be back. Continue the show, guys. I'll be back.
Yeah, go back. Go back.
Go drink some cool water.
Yeah, go drink water. Oh, that's funny.
But it's nice to be here. I mean, I don't know. I think I came on. I heard you talking about me. But people got to understand, you know, I love the closing argument. I will always be here if I'm available. It's just that with school opening, I had to take my son back to campus, you know, being a mother myself. And I got 2 children in school now. You know, my 12 years old went to 7th grade. And my other son went to 2nd year university, his 2nd year. So I have to be a hands-on mother to do those things. But, you know, if I can be here, I will always try to be here. Because no one person can take me off this platform. I'm the loudest on this platform, as Ben said, right? You know, they already know from in the chat room, they can't just beat me down. Not easy to deal with. You're laughing. So it is what it is. But my name is Grace Guar. I'm back here on Closing Argument. And I love to be on this show. These guys are like my brothers. We disagree to agree. It's all for love for country. Liberia is what we fight for. We may disagree in different things, but we all have love for the country. We want the country to be good. We want Liberia to come back, you know, to better than where it was before. And we are looking forward to that. We pray that we all, including you on this Facebook and YouTube, that we live to see that.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you, Grace. I agree with you. Peabody is, I think the feeling is mutual across the board. And I was thinking about it today. I said, you know, there are moments where you want to give up, right? Where when you think about what's going on with life, I mean, it's like when are we going to get a break? When are we going to catch a break? But then you think about it, you're like, look, whether you like it or not, home is home. There's something about Liberia. Everybody on this show, when you get back home, I don't care, as dysfunctional as some things may be, once you get home, it's Liberia, right? You get that sense of, wow, I'm home. The air, the food, the people, there's just something about that country. And I don't know if I can survive without going back to Liberia. I don't know. Like, I don't know if healthy. I think I haven't been back to Liberia since November. When did we come back? I think December, right? Yeah. Since December, I haven't been back. Peabody has been back. Tomalin, I think, has been back. You, Grace, just got back. And I literally was talking to my wife today. I said, listen, I got to go to Liberia probably next month or latest October. I have to go to Liberia because it's almost like there is it's almost like there's in fact, it was my wife who asked me. She said, when you going to Liberia? I was like, oh, really? You asking me when? She said, yeah, you been here too long. I have you heard you say you're going? I said, well, no, sometimes you just want to. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to Liberia. Like I said, the food is amazing. I think Liberia has the best food in the world. Nobody can argue. True. Nobody. I don't care. Nobody. I can argue anywhere in the world about our food. I can tell anybody, you're wasting your time if you think you got the best food than Liberia. And then our people are just good people. We may be a little sometimes, but we're good people. We're good people. No matter what happened, You can argue, you can fight with your brother, you can see the politics, it can give you hard time. But when the dust settle, you will see Peabody was just telling me, I'm not going to call names, but he was telling me some of the folks who were reaching out to him when he was in Liberia. They saw him at a spot. Like, remember, man, I didn't buy a beer. These are people who are just dealing with us a couple of months ago, right? But that's the uniqueness of the country. And I love Liberia. I want to see Liberia do well. We want to see our country do well. We want our government to succeed. I want to say that. I think there is this tendency that people have that, oh, Ben, you didn't support Joe Boyka, so you don't want him to succeed. It is in my interest for Joe Boyka to succeed. It's in my interest. Joe Boyka is at the end of his life. He's 79 years old. He's going to be 80 next year. He's at the end of his life.
Hey, resettlement age?
Well, Grace, our babies. Yeah, we nice talk now. Yeah, either woman. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, he's right. What about us? 7 schools, what? 3 schools and 10? Is that what was that? What was it?
3 schools and 10. Yeah.
So everything else he got right now going on, that God bless him. That God bless him, right? So he's at the end of his life. So I want him to succeed because whether I like it or not, the country is going to be bequeathed unto us. This generation that we're going, we got to be able to make sure that he succeeds. And that is the reason why it's important to hold him accountable. It's important to hold the government accountable. I was having a conversation with a friend a few minutes ago, and we're talking about just the lay of the land and stuff. And I kept saying to them, it's important that we hold the government accountable constructively. And that's where I see a lot of times, that's where you come from, Grace, even though we give you a hard time. But your issue is, when does it stop? Right? You say, oh, there are laws on the books. We got to go by the laws. It has to be a point where it stops. We thought it was going to stop where we are. Okay, now we boycott. We ain't got another 6 years to waste. Because when we waste another 6 years, it takes us back, it takes the clock back. Obviously, we see our brother St. Tomalin George well dressed in his VP.
Looking sharp.
He dressed in his VP Jeremiah Cohn suit Jeremiah Cohn suit.
God.
And I told you, I said, when every new government come, people get dressed that way, right? You see Tomalin wearing purple suit anymore. You don't wear purple suit anymore. Joey are not in power anymore. He wearing the Joe Boyka and the Jeremiah Cohn suit, but it's good to see you, my brother. And we're excited about the future of our country. I see a lot of young people. You see the kids going to school. You see the innocence in their face. I think it's incumbent upon us to leave Liberia better than we met it for those young people. Sometimes I feel depressed because I think about what kind of Liberia are they going to inherit? Because I grew up in a Liberia where your neighbor could discipline you. I grew up in a Liberia where you couldn't call somebody older than you by just their first name. I grew up in a Liberia where if you do wrong and you in the community, your neighbor will flock you. Then when your parents come home and you go report to them, another flocking again, just for coming to say, oh, my neighbor beat me, right? That's the kind of spirit. I don't know if we're ever going to get that again, but I think we can get close to what we had before and even better. So I'm excited about the country, and as we conversate today, we're going to talk about the country. Yeah, Tomalin George.
Yeah, Tomalin. Before you come here, I just want to send shout out to T Calabash. That potato greens.
Oh God!
The potato greens with T Calabash.
But I'm telling you, let me send a shout out. Cadiz restaurant on SKD Boulevard. SKD.
Oh my God, that's the place.
The dry rice at that restaurant, Grace, when you go back to Liberia, go back to that place. The dry rice at that restaurant. Not only the dry rice, the kidney beans, the tobagi.
But Ben, would it still be there though? I heard they broke things down.
No, they're still there.
No, they're still there.
They're still there.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still there. They're still there. It's amazing restaurant, very clean.
And what thing again? Nihimatu, I think her name Nihimatu Koli for restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, Jesus, I want restaurant. Okay.
Yeah, guys, it's good to be back, man. But I was on a sad note first. I'm the bearer of all the dead.
Somebody died again.
Let me first of all, we lost. If you know, back in the days, from bomb mines, Cali Hospital, Dr. Bangaloo Jarrett. Dr. Jarrett passed on Friday.
Oh yes, funny thing to me, that's my family.
Oh, I know their family.
yeah. But 95 years old though.
5 years, yeah. Yes, I brother.
A life well lived.
Yes, he passed.
Dr. Jarrett, yeah.
Maryland.
Who that?
Dr. Jarrett from Cali
Jarrett.
Hospital.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dr. Max Funkele Jarrett.
Yesterday morning, we launched from Miss Liberia, Annie Broderick. I met Annie Broderick in Nigeria when we were there for ISEC conference in the early 90s, mid 90s. And we had a very good discussion. We lost Annie Broderick. In fact, she became Miss Liberia in 83, then she went to become Miss Africa and all. At that time, Liberia was, we're moving up. And
Was she still living in Liberia or she died somewhere else?
Dying Liberia at JFK.
Oh,
Oh, Miss Liberia. Wow.
So one of them, we should extend our condolences to the families of
to TK, to the rest of the family. Yeah. In fact, my wife was just telling me because he's like I said, my wife's father, he's married to my wife's father's sister. Yeah. So that's his family, like I was saying. So we were just talking. I think the service is going to be on the 7th of September.
Yeah, this coming
the next weekend. So yeah, so definitely I'll be in Maryland. So for all of our folks, I'll be in Maryland this
and we'll be in Atlanta
this coming weekend.
Guys, the crew will be in the ATL this weekend. So let's hang up, man. We'll be in the ATL.
So you're going there for
Ramos wedding.
Gagwa. We're going to be live from the Stone Mountain, Georgia, where we're going to carry the wedding of Ramos.
And guys, but I did have a chat with Mr. Cummings before I came on the show, and Mr. Cummings, I think he still respects the closing argument. He still admires us, and we're planning something with him. So
that's nice.
That's good. I'm happy that he able to message.
I will try to reach out to him myself. I haven't talked to him.
He's presently in Liberia right now. He arrived in Liberia on the 24th of August, he said.
Good.
I saw a video that he arrived in, and I never liked how he talked to the journalists. You know me, I would be fair. The journalist asked me, the journalist told him, said, welcome, Mr. Cummings, welcome back. When he said, you don't have to welcome me, this is my home. You can't talk to the journalist like that. Mr. Cummings.
Well,
and then the journalist asking if you and Baka were on the flight together, then he get a journalist another cheek. You can't be doing that. You have to humble yourself, Chief. It is what it is, but you have to humble yourself. The journalist.
If they welcome me now, then people are going to say, "Oh, he coming back home. He acting like so."
No. If the journalist said, "Welcome, Mr. Cummings," said, "Thank you very much." Mr. Cummings, I mean well for the guy. That's what I'm saying.
I think I understand. I think I understand where she's coming from, right? I think I understand because even when you go back home, people say welcome, right? Welcome home, Ben. Welcome home, Lofa. Welcome home. So I understand where you're coming from. Maybe he was having a bad day. Maybe the
Can we look at it from another perspective too? To say, okay, I'm home. I shouldn't have to be welcome to my home. It's like you're doing someone a favor and the person say thank you. At times people will say, you don't have to thank me for doing that. Okay, people do that. I don't know.
Your tone of voice,
right? Then that could make a difference.
Be fair.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think it could be looked at wrong. I understand what Grace is trying to say, but it can also be like him saying to him.
But guys,
come on again, Peabody. Why are you telling me come on? If we don't correct these things, it will continue.
Grace is here.
I just like to say the truth. I'm not anti him. All he needs to do is be humble. Humble yourself. That journalist could vote for you.
He's a very humble man. He's a humble man.
He is. No, listen.
I don't know
he
him
is.
personally.
He is. You know what? We need to plan a trip for you to meet Mr. Cummings. You need to sit down and have a conversation with Mr. Cummings. You will like him. He's a likable guy.
That why you can say that, brother. You know somebody in the comment in the logo.
No. You see, the reason why I say that.
For him to humble himself.
No, but Grace, you know the reason I say that. Let me tell you the reason I say that.
Wake up.
No, but let me tell you the reason I say that, Grace. You are in a privileged position. You have access. Right? Not every Liberian get a chance to say they will sit down and talk to Mr. Cummings. You can.
No, I have access. I have
so it's not, I'm coming from a place where, but I do know he's a very humble man. I know he's a very humble man. I know he's somebody who deeply cares for his country. But like I said, it could have been maybe I've had I don't.
And all I'm saying is that if people don't know him when they see that video, they say, "Well, what kind of man is that? He cocky." So I'm just trying to say that so he can be able to.
Well,
that's a good point.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that's a fair point. but you know, sometimes people have their days. Again, I just think that we can look at it from different perspective. But Grace is making a salient point. I think her thing here is a positive, you know, just feedback. Let us do it this way in the not
So
too
let me
distant
get,
future. If you were to ever have to do it, I've dealt with Mr. Cummings on
yeah.
several occasions, and I mean, I've really not had the opportunity to see that other side of him, even when we literally were in the elevator together in I think Florida. Like he pushing the
Let-
button and
Oh, but
everything.
let me tell you, we had dinner, Mr. Coming one time. We had dinner. And they were clearing our plate. Before we
Yeah,
take
but
it.
Hey, there you go.
I
Yeah,
wanna
he
say
did the
something.
same thing. Yeah, he did the same. He did the same thing to me. I think it was either at their convention in Florida or something like that. And I'm like, okay, I left it, but other ANC folks came. They took it for him. I'm like, you want to do it? He came and he grabbed the plate. I'm like, okay.
But you see, Lofa, I want to say something before I say what I want to say. Let me send a
Mhm.
shout out to our sister Edwina Crump. I see she's highlighting this.
Cheerleader.
I see she's highlighting the bitter leaf at
That is-
Cadiz, which is
that's
true. Bitter leaf is really good. I'm a big fan of bitter leaf.
But
But let me say
cheerleader,
this.
we come on the show.
I understand where Grace may be coming from because you know our people sometimes, and let me give you an example with Brumskin, right? I remember one time we were traveling, right? Me, Councilor Brumskin, Charlene, there was a whole delegation of LP folks who were traveling. It happened to be on the same day. Now, former president, we had then Senator, we was traveling also, right? It was during the election. It was during that 2017 year, right? And we had gotten to the airport before us, right? And he had already gotten on the plane. When we got there, we were running late, by the way. We got stuck in traffic and we were running late. When we got to the airport, it was like we were rushing, you know, everybody was rushing, Brumskin was rushing, we all were rushing. When we got to the place, by the time we got to the gate, getting ready to get to, you know how you can get you get your passport and stuff. I heard the people in the background saying, "Hi, yeah, he know that the one who won't be president, he can't yet. They acting like they're rushing. He didn't even speak to us, right? He didn't even speak to us. Joe, we are Joe, we are walk all over the place, shaking everybody's hand, joking with them, you know, and giving them high five, saying, hey, my man, what's up? I bring that up to say that a lot of the folks probably didn't realize that we were running late, right? The entire attention was on the span of Brumskin King, and he was running, trying to go get on his flight, and he didn't even say hello to anybody, right? Contrasted with George Weah, who got there way early, so he could have had a time to be able to reach out and shake with him. So I think I understand exactly where she's coming from the fact that the way, especially if you're a public figure in Liberia who wants to be president or running for president or has ran for president, people take those things personally. They're like, hey, you know, you never know if I made that man day. The fact if Cummings had just said, hey, my man, thank you, man. You know, what's up? After that, my man, what going on? What going on in the town? You see what I'm saying? Something that's simple. Like, hey, my man, so I understand that she's coming from a constructive place when she say, hey, it's not. I don't think she's knocking Mr. Cummings, and she's on the show. She can speak for herself. It's almost like, hey, welcome, Mr. Cummings. Welcome back home. Yeah, my man, what's up, my man? Yeah, my man. I hope y'all held the time down. I hope y'all holding the time, Uncle Rel. We back now, right? Something like that. But again, people get a chance to but I think it's only so. Mr. Cummings, if you're listening, the next time I put you welcome home, make sure you
Make sure you not your quality.
Well, I think we gotta hear from his perspective. I was Grace.
Those people that we know you will not accept this thing.
Well, I think Mr. Cummings,
we know you will not accept it, brother. It's okay.
It's Grace's perspective, but I don't think it's
for you, Mr. Cummings is a saint. For me, Mr. Cummings is a Liberian man who I want to see do better. And there is not here that but him. Look, Clementia River did the same thing in his election. He was going down, the people ran to him, was trying to shake his hand. He shook their hand, he wept his hand. Clementia River is my cousin. And people send a video to me. My own brother, who is his cousin, I will never vote for that man because of that. So I'm just saying to you, you have to be careful when you're in leadership position, how you deal with people. Bronsky is the kindest man you will know. I worked with Bronsky before. But look at what they say about him.
Yeah, they stuck that thing on him, that he let way in white shade. He arrogant. That one I hear them talking about Bronsky this time. Oh, you know, Councilor Brown, I'm like, y'all leave that man alone, I beg you. Let him rest in peace. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
well, let's get on the show, guys. The show got to start.
Yeah, we got a lot of talking about. First, It seems as though the country is, I don't know where we're heading, but I know the president on the way again to China and Indonesia this weekend, I think. President Biden
They're probably making moves. They're probably making moves.
but a lot of things happening. He just called the federal legislature back to session from the mid-year break. He called them back to session, and then also, the World Bank suspended Liberia for some loan issue, and the IMF extended credit facility stuff is approaching. The deadlines approaching. A lot's happening, and the countries ahead that is stranded. So I don't know. But first of all, let's discuss what the president went on this Atlanta trip. What the goodies he brought, because now he went to Indonesia. What Indonesia gave us.
Let's start. Let's start with Ben, because last time he was the one saying, "Let's wait till the president return and see what he gets."
I was defending Omenjo. I was.
Okay, so now tell us what he brought back.
And I'm going to stick to my defense. I'm going to stick to my defense of the president.
I don't mind.
Lofa, I don't care what you say. You can score your 3 goals. I'm going to defend the president on this one. Let me say this. First of all, I did see something on the Mansion website. I think there is now a exchange program between Liberia and Clark Atlanta University. I think it's major. I think it's huge. These are some of the things. Listen, I have been one of the proponents, right? And let me state why I'm going to defend him on this. I have been one of the people who has said, I wait to see the day our presidents come to America and forget about Washington, D.C. Because when you come to Washington, D.C., that all that foolish thing, you meeting this person, you talking this person, doing nothing. I want to see him. The only disappointment I got, he's stuck in Atlanta. He should have gone to Silicon Valley. He should have gone to other places, right? But striking a deal with Clark Atlanta University for a student exchange program is huge. It's huge. Whether we want to admit it or not, it is huge. And the other thing that we could benefit from? We could benefit from exchange I'm waiting to see a school-to-school relationship with universities in America, beaming classes into Monrovia. Just have an internet, right? Just have internet. Doing those kind of things, getting Liberian students to come and go to Clark Atlanta, study there, it build the capacities of Liberians. I understand. I don't know. I'm following what I saw on the executive mansion. I know they told me I'm not in touch with the higher ups in the UP government. I'm following what the rules.
Everybody can also.
Yeah, no, I told me who can just pick up the phone and call the vice president and call the president. I don't do that. We got government. I used to do that, right? This is totally government. Totally get friends in the government. I just messing with my bill. Don't have you. But the reason I say that is because I don't know where else what were some of the other negotiations, but I want to believe that he held. Even at that Atlanta, even at that Black Business Conference, there may have been people who interest peaked in Liberia because the president of Liberia was there and made a representation for our country. The only thing that probably may have clouded it was what happened over the last couple of days with the whole with the demonstration and all that different things that happened at the CDC headquarters. Maybe that may have put a little damper on it. But I think just the Clark Atlanta thing, the president was gone for a couple of days, 4 or 5 days. I think the Clark Atlanta thing, for me, when I saw it, I was excited about it because it can yield a lot of dividends from it. Leapfrogging into Indonesia and China, I want to see the president go to China. I want to see him. Listen, I'm pro-American. I'm as pro-American as they come. But I want to see Liberia break away and start to look at other nations also. Indonesia has a very strong agriculture base. The president should go there and try to start to see KT, what you call knowledge transfer, right? Get people to come. Some of these things don't necessarily have to be all the big things. They may be something very small. I want to see the president discuss with his Indonesian counterpart on how their government can work bilaterally to form public-private partnerships, to start doing small cooperatives when it comes to farming. China, the same thing. I want to see a reset of Liberia-China relationship because I think it went down during the Weah administration because of some of the pro-American stance that they took. Voting against China at the United Nations, all of those things. I think that was a downside. I want to see them have a conversation about the reintroduction of that flyover bridge that's supposed to be at a ministerial complex. I want to see all of the projects that have been on hold. So I think the trip to China is going to be very strategic. I'm looking forward to seeing what will come again. Lofa, I will put myself on the record. I believe when he goes to Indonesia and China, these are the countries that I think have the ability to be able to move the needle for countries like Liberia. Don't forget, Indonesia, Singapore, all these countries, they marveled and they relished and they enjoyed the whole Liberia thing during the Toba years. Lee Kuan Yew, the former leader of Singapore, the late, said his entire developmental agenda for Singapore was modeled after William Aratoba's agenda for Liberia. And they have been able to leapfrog ahead. So I want to see the president moving in those areas, doing some of those things. Again, like I said, it is important because our people benefit. If we get 2 students that come from Liberia to go to Clark Atlanta University, I think it's a plus. So I would stand by commending the president.
Okay, so great thing that Ben believed that we had achieved something from the president wistful travel out of the country and returning with a promise service note, another promise to Liberia. When and that's why you notice me every time there's a topic that I am not informed about, I try not to be into it. I try to stay my distance so I can learn. That's part of the reason why we're on here. But I was opportune to had a foundation, the Hope for Kids Foundation, and I reached out to the North Carolina Community College here because I was trying to see how we can negotiate the foreign exchange program because they do have one, okay, and it is clear. In order for that to be considered, yes, you have to engage in the negotiation process, but they also have to evaluate the curriculum. Does it coincide with what they're looking for? I mean, are you guys actually, what program are you exchanging? What programs are we actually pushing forth at the local universities in Liberia that Clark University think that, okay, let these students come out here and interact so that you can perform what you reference as knowledge transfer. And then that culture orientation. These are things that are taken into consideration when those negotiations are being made. It is unfortunate that I will tell you today, due to the quality of education that is provided at our public institution, it will be difficult for this to be implemented. And again, just like I told you when we sat on this platform about the Elon Musk conversation, and I told you that was Vlad. Up until today's date, we are yet to do. Yeah, you can shake your head all you want, Ben, but the reality here is the Elon Musk conversation that was all over the social media today. If you were to ask about it, would say what happened?
That's not true. I can counter it. That's not true. It wasn't Vlad.
What was it? Okay, Ben, since you want to interrupt, what was the result of the Elon Musk conversation? What have we benefited?
I've been told, I've spoken to folks on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs who was instrumental in that call. First of all, the call did happen. You are assuming that
that call did not happen.
Okay, you said our AI. You said our AI. So
what is the benefit? Forget about that.
There are discussions right now for Starlink. You know the Elon Musk satellite, right? Starlink, the satellite thing. There's discussions right now for Starlink to actually open a hub in Liberia. I'm telling you, I've spoken to people about this.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. First of all, you know my background.
Oh,
right?
but I know that. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the reality. That statement you just made about negotiation, the infrastructure, first of all, must be in place in order
what if they're starting to do it?
To be made.
What if they're starting to do it?
Starting to do what?
There gotta be a starting point.
Let me land on my thought. Let me land on my thought so I can give other people the chance to talk, man. Again, I want to say in regards to the president's trip out of Liberia, I think it was wasteful, and I think he should be again a little bit more careful and hopefully try to maintain that understanding of why we are where we are today. The complaints that were laid against President Weah, his wasteful spending, the continuous travel out of Liberia and not returning with much, but promises and other things. I think this is a repeat of what we experienced with President Weah, and now it's becoming worse under President Boykais and his irrelevant travel simply to walk a ball in our Liberian Palang. Thank you.
I don't think it's fair for you to say that to the president, Lofa. On this one, I will side with Ben. It's not a requirement for the president, for any president to travel and bring back into the country tangibles. The president could travel. He could go to build relationships. This
True.
president has just been here
He's
for
right.
So Grace, when you
months.
go to
Can
build
you-
relationship,
Let her
that's
finish. Let her finish.
that's
Give
oh
her-
now you want her to finish. Okay, Grace.
Grace,
All right, Grace,
protect
go ahead.
Grace. Protect Grace.
Because Grace agreeing with you now, I should let her finish. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the president can travel and he can build alliances. He can also build relationships, and he even he even struck a deal for a scholarship program. That is tangible. That one alone is something for the 1 week that he traveled out of the country for. But the requirements that we have on our presidents always that the president go, he bring nothing. This is not man going to the grocery store and coming back with a hand bare empty. No, the president has to go travel, meet people, build relationships, and tell them about like that's the tangible he has. He doesn't have to always go and bring in this. So I don't understand why you always believe that any president that lead like bro when they travel, they always got to bring something. It doesn't. I mean, not adding up to me. I think the president made a trip. He had an agenda. I think his agenda was laid out, and I think the press secretary need to come out and tell us now what did he acquire on
That is the
trip.
fault that I have. They should come out with a
Yeah.
detailed thing of what was accomplished, what's in the pipeline. That is where I have my issue. But not the notion that the president should come by. I mean, come on, man, Lofa.
And that's all I have to say.
All
Okay,
right.
so
You know,
got Peabody
let me
or
come in, man.
Tomalin, can I just go ahead. Go
Let me
Anybody
come
coming
in.
in and Lofa on the seaside, I can already see it on their face.
Let me come in. Firstly, I want to send prayers out to Representative Ability. I know they had a conflict. Guys, yeah, please start highlighting these things when we're having conversations.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of interrupt. We can do it, but let's be cautious about it. You know, but what I would say is that Ability had an incident on last week, and I don't know whether they have phoned the people.
No.
But let's keep them in our hearts and best wishes and prayer as well. But let me say this, man. You know, I love to be fair. I love to see the president come back to the country, flying a commercial jet, coming down from Ascot. That shows he's not wasteful, you know. And as president of Liberia, he's entitled to travel. You know, he's entitled to go. I give that to him. To be honest, I give it to him. He's entitled to it. He's the president, and connecting with Clark Atlanta University, we don't know what are some of the tangibles that he had in store, or who they met, or who they spoke with, and all of that. You know, but at least he came back. And they have already announced this program with Clark Atlanta University. Probably there were other opportunities. I mean, I give that to him. I don't agree with everything President Barker is doing, but I think when it comes to that, I think I give it to him. He's entitled as president of Liberia. When he's invited, he has a budget. He can go on and represent the country. I think I give that to him. Let's see what's going to come out of it. Let's see what happens. But I applaud the fact that he's riding. He's not riding private jet. I applaud that. I really applaud that.
Thank you, Peabody.
But look, okay. The president is true. The president is entitled to travel, but that's why it's hard for presidents to travel. When they travel, a lot of costs attached. The president don't travel less than 15-20% with him. Make no mistake. And the DSAs, the daily subsistence allowance that people that they pay. Some it depends on your category or position, your position in government. Some people get 200 a day. Some people get 300 a day. Some people get 500 a day. Okay, and people get these. They are paid this amount. They pay them for travel as a DSA. So that's why that's why you have ministers. That's why you have your foreign ministers. You got your foreign ministers to. If they travel, it's less expensive on the government. But again, the president will not travel on a trip like this with all and then dividend. He's sure. So I'm telling you, guys said that we didn't hear from the press secretary when she have a press briefing. The Minister of Information tomorrow will be their press briefing. I hear from them tomorrow too. Yes. Yeah, what will give us from the president's travel. But if we can say he doesn't have to have tangible, no. You can't just go on trip to say because it's not time to go to make connection. That's how you do it though. You won't take taxpayer money to go make connection. No, it's not how you do it though. Yeah, especially come to America. The president will be back here in a few weeks for the United Nations General Assembly. He come here for the UN, and that's a big delegation he will be bringing. So it's important to know what the outcome of this trip here to Atlanta. I hear people saying, "Oh, his speech was was beautiful. He gave a beautiful speech." But again, what's the aftermath from it? What was the end result from it? So it's important that we know what the outcome of that trip to Atlanta, because I can tell you, 50%, let's say 15%. That trip maybe cost the country maybe not less than close to 100 G or so. Okay, maybe, again, he flew on a commercial flight. That's good, but they're not sleeping in somebody's hotels, and the person not going in a kind of cheap hotel. All this stuff. Look at. So we must say that I'm sure they have something good in the bag for us that he brought back. We listen to more of the Minister of Information, hear what we're going to say, and then the press secretary will also double down. But it's important that we highlight on his trip. So let's see what we get from the trip tomorrow. But President don't do their trial for nothing, though.
Let me. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Let me say something here, right? I don't want us to misconstrue the president or constitutional mandate. The travels and everything, it is constitutional. I'm not saying the president is breaking any law by traveling to negotiate. Few things that we continue to miss here is what was stated during the campaign period. It was alleged that President Boyka had the international connection because of his tenure in government. Okay, so the relationship building part of this entire process pretty much was already done because he served as an agriculture minister, vice president, and you name the rest of it. Now, at this point in time, he's traveling, like you rightfully said, Tomalin, and I'm glad you highlighted that. He's not traveling alone. Whether he's traveling commercial or economic, whatever he's traveling, he's bringing along at least about 20 some more members as a delegation. That is money coming out of our coffer. If you to compare that based on how much is being spent to the drugs that are needed in JFK, you will question yourself, why are we not simply investing that amount of money and sending our delegates, either the education minister, the foreign affairs minister, and other people to carry on these negotiations so that we can avoid the wasteful spending. These people can go and thank God for technology, okay? With the support of technology, that speech could be read virtually, okay? And for Clark University, it is not a problem for them to either host a WebEx conference or anything of that nature and have President Boyka sit in the comfort of his office and address the people, have his foreign affairs minister and other people on ground to carry on the negotiation. That would not have cost us that much money. Unfortunately, he and his entourage took to leave the country. So when we are asking, when we're saying, what is the return on investment? We are not speaking of the financial aspect of it. Not every trip. When you say the president traveled out of the country, whether he negotiated and that negotiation, went right, that is some kind of benefit. You cannot ignore that. But we are looking at the current status of the nation. The current state of the nation is in a deplorable state. So we cannot sit here and try to mesmerize the reality on ground. The people need something happening right away. And thus far, I don't see President Boyka and his guys doing anything. They are being very wasteful. That's my point.
Yeah, but before Chairman come in, look, but again, too, that's what I said earlier, though. Before the president make a trip, it must be important, something that will benefit this country. So
thank you.
That's what I was saying now, but let's listen to what the Minister of Information says tomorrow and the press secretary. Based on what so we cannot just jump and say, well, it wasn't, we're not dismissing and say it wasn't important, but for him to travel to like all the country for 1 week to just come to America, it means that trip was important to Liberia. And then Ben, student exchange program, I know that happened overnight. I know that. So it takes a lot. And then one of the things that I really are concerned, I want to listen to the conference tomorrow, because if that student exchange study had went through, would be a major press conference before they came back to the country. Press conference would have taken place. But I didn't see all this stuff. So I'm eager to hear tomorrow from Gerald Pia and then from Kula what they will tell us about the trip, because it must have been something. They must have brought a breakthrough, maybe a score, a home run. So I mean, that's my.
Yeah, listen, I don't disagree with that, and we can discuss the merits and demerits of whether the president should travel, what kind of trip he should make. Is well within the preview of having a discussion about resources and stuff, even like what Peabody is talking about. Look, let me even talk about the issue of private jet. Let's be frank. Let's be honest. It's just for the optics, to be quite honest with you. If you were doing the math,
Right?
Huh?
Her commercial more expensive than private jet.
Commercial is more expensive than private. When you think about, listen, let's put it this way. The president of Liberia, right? The president of Liberia is one passenger. He will have no less than maybe 4 persons with him in business class. For argument's sake, let's just say the rest of the delegation in economy. Peabody, you know how much for an economy class ticket. You know, right? You also know how much it costs for a business class ticket.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Business class. So, yeah.
Yeah. So when you add the president,
but I love business class.
Yeah. No, I don't do economy. I'm sorry. They say once you go to the front of the plane, you won't go in the back. I'm sorry. But the reason I bring that up is because, guys, if you were to add, let's just say the president's trip because that whole economy thing is because generally presidents don't take private planes to the US. They would probably take Delta or take another commercial, a commercial airline, right? Let's just go to Guar, right? Guar used to fly private jet from Monrovia to Accra. And then he going across the Atlantic. Then he gets on either Emirates or one of these airlines. Whenever he was coming to the States, he would probably use Delta or United, right? But let's even look at it. Let's look at it from a financial standpoint, right? One of those business class tickets is nothing less than probably $6,000 or $7,000. That's on a good day. Times that by 4.
Hey, you guys got money long. We're gonna be flying.
No. We can use miles. I can use miles. I get plenty of miles, right? But times that by 4, right? Times that by 4. What does it cost to rent a private jet for 2 hours from Monrovia to Accra? It's probably about $10,000 an hour. Just think about it. And with a private jet, you can put about 15 persons on the private plane. So I think the reason why people talk about it is also because the optics don't look good, and then there's a lot of suffering in the country. But if you were to kind of break it down, right? If you look at it and what Ellen used to do, Ellen the one did it the right way. Ellen used to just beg her friends. Most of her friendly president friends, she would ask and say, "Send me your plane to take me to Accra," right? It was only we have literally who were using, the government used to pay for the plane. So I bring that up to say, when we're talking about whether we like it or not, it is expensive for the president to travel anyway. I don't care he taking boat, he taking plane, he taking car. The president convoy, you know how much it costs Liberia on a daily basis to maintain the president convoy? In Liberia, nobody talk about it. You know how many cars in the president convoy? For fuel alone, right? You know what it costs to just take care of the president on a single day? So the presidency in itself is an expensive venture. We must accept it. We have that democracy. The only thing I know people talk about it is because the very Unity Party people used to beat up on other presidents. So that's the reason why people think there's a need to talk about it. But leapfrogging to the issue of the trip, I agree with Lofa, right? Some of these things can be done by WebEx. Some of these things can be done but sometimes some of these things also is a little more powerful when the person is actually in person, when the person is actually there, right? There's an aura that comes with the office. When the president shows up, he may be able to accomplish a lot more than maybe a foreign minister. So I want to believe, and again, I will lean back to what Tomalin said. I will wait to hear what the full breakdown of this trip was. But I only highlighted Clark Atlanta because that's what they put up. When I went on the mansion website, I saw they said he had worked out this thing with Clark Atlanta, which I am very excited about because our brothers and sisters, even if it's a few of them, they will benefit from this exchange program that will be able to build their capacity, right? So I just thought to include that, and then I stick to the notion that I think the trip to Asia is important. The trip to Asia is important. We need a reset with our visit. We need a reset with our relationship with China. China has been an amazing partner to Liberia, right? Most of the developmental things you saw during the 12 years of Ellen came from China. Ministerial complex. Just name it, right? It came from China because she knew how to balance it. I'm hoping President Boca is able to balance his relationship with China, with the United States, so that we can be able to see a pickup, an uptick in the dividends that relationship will bring. And I'm excited about Indonesia because I know the potential of Indonesia. I know how the country has leapfrogged when it comes to a lot of the progress that they have made. I know what they have done. And I think it is important for the president to go to Indonesia, talk about some of these exchange programs, talk about some of these things, like I said, forming cooperatives, forming different things. There's a lot we can learn in reference to knowledge transfer when it comes to Indonesia. And the last thing I would say, the key is maintenance, right? Keeping those lines open, not just going there and then you don't follow up. Because that's where I think a lot of our problems come from, when we don't follow up on some of these things that we try to put in place.
Okay, okay, I mean, Chairman, yes, like I was saying, the outcome will in the next few hours we'll learn from the outcome of the trip, but the president will not, I don't think he will just travel just for. I'm sure that trip was important. Maybe we'll hear tomorrow based on it. But we're still trying to get the details from the other trips that happened. But so Ben, Peabody, let's jump on this issue with the President Weah wrote the ECOWAS leaders. He complained President Boyka and his administration for harassment and the intimidation, whatever they term it. But there are other critics that are saying that why ECOWAS now and what will ECOWAS do? But you guys can weigh in. For me, I would say President Weah, I think he took the right step by contacting ECOWAS. Say, look, the election ended, a close election ended. I could have maybe raised contention, resolved whatever the case, but I decided to accept the result, and I conceded before even any announced the final result. I conceded, and I appointed a transitional team right away, and we had a smooth transfer of power. But again, too, on the flip side, I think everyone else there support the audit of NN government. I support audit. I support the audit, and I believe that wherever the chips fall, and anyone who the public trust should not be allowed to go free. But what's your take on the complaint raised by President Weah to ECOWAS? I think he contacted President Tinubu of Nigeria, Ouattara of Cote d'Ivoire, Marabia of Sierra Leone, Akufo-Addo from Ghana.
So what I think, like you said, President Weah made the right decision to contact ECOWAS. But like reading from other people, the same ECOWAS that you confided in right now, what happened to Nyenwolo when Nyenwolo took a case and she won a case and she should have been paid? What happened to Kabila Jana when he took a case? Did you honor ECOWAS at that time? So now you coming back and going to the same ECOWAS that you did not honor when they rendered a judgment in the court and you guys did not recognize the court. But I mean, overall, I think it was the right step to do. But I'm yet to see how was the president harassed. I mean, I know that the police were wrong for going. I mean, I don't know what happened, to be honest. But how does that suffice into somebody harassing you, though? The police. I mean, I don't support any action with police entering places and using live bullet on people. I don't support that. I think it's wrong. But overall, that's what I would say.
Can I come in, because I need to take a small break? I need to do something. I'll come back. But let me just chime on this. Two things. I think there's a lot of people are missing, and I don't want us to fall for the UP propaganda that we didn't obey ECOWAS code, so it means he didn't call ECOWAS. ECOWAS code is different from the authorities of heads of state. ECOWAS code is different from the commission. He wrote the president of the ECOWAS commission. The ECOWAS code, the way ECOWAS is structured is the way your country is structured. 3 separate branches, different branches. They do different things. There are so many other verdicts when it comes to ECOWAS code in other countries. The ECOWAS court render a verdict against the government of Sierra Leone for their former president. I think the former president, quick correction. The former president of Sierra Leone, Ernest Baya Kroma, the one who just left office, right? He removed his vice president. The vice president went to the ECOWAS court, and the ECOWAS court ruled that the vice president was illegally removed and that he should be put back in place. It ain't happened, but it doesn't stop ECOWAS from getting involved in your country. We are a community. We have a treaty that binds us, and there is this rule with ECOWAS that they have to now become. They got to start being proactive, especially with what is going on in the region. What's happening in the region? You see a lot of unconstitutional takeover of power in the region. You see a lot of issues, and it start from the bottom. You know how Guinea started? Guinea started when Alpha Condé decided that he was going to change the constitution. ECOWAS didn't say anything. It started when he decided to say, okay, I will change the constitution, then I will go run for president for the third term. And he won, right? And then the next thing, you saw problems happening and so and so. So I think what happened, I commend Weah for taking this role, for taking this decision. The second thing is, Weah was not saying that he was harassed as a person. He's speaking as the leader of the CDC. He represents about almost half of the voting population in Liberia, at least the people who voted, right? So he has a responsibility to make representation on behalf of his people, his constituents. And I think it is good because at the end of the day, they will be proactive. Why I think one of the things that I think this government or President Boakai has dropped the ball on, one of the things that I think President Boakai has dropped the ball on is his lack of consultation with people across the different spectrum in the country. It's been 7 months since President Boakai became president. I have not heard of one meeting with President Boakai and anybody in the opposition community. This is not about jobs. One of the things Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did very well was she was
on the topic,
engaged. Huh?
Stick on the topic.
No, I am sticking on the topic. I'm leading to where I'm coming back to exactly what we're talking about while we wrote the letter, right? That letter clearly just states that there's a need for dialogue. There's a need because there's so many things we can do that can be avoided the way without it exploding. Maybe we're taking for granted what happened in Liberia a few days ago. There was a potential for that thing to spiral out of control. We lost a lot on that day even from an economic standpoint. One of the largest taxpayers in our country was not open on that day, right? So there's a lot that could have happened. Could the police have done things different? Yes. Could CDC have done things different? Yes. But you know the key with all of this thing is when people are not talking, when people have the scenario right now in Liberia is us versus them. That's the when you talk to people in Liberia, that's the mantra. So I think there's a need for everybody to calm down, for tensions to simmer. This is by no means in any shape or form saying that the government should not pursue its agenda against with the fight against corruption. Anybody who abused the public trust should be made to account for it. But it also takes into consideration the fact that then there's a need for wider consultation and people need to calm down and be able to see how we can do. And guess what? The good news is that ECOWAS is sending a delegation, I think tomorrow or the day after.
Well, could we have contact President Boakai? I said President Boakai, president to president. Why are you doing this?
Well, you can't say that. You can't say that. You know why? Because in this case, President Boakai is a party to the issue, to the complaint. So
you're talking about peace. Where does peace start from? You're talking about peace.
But Peabody, that's what I'm saying. Peabody, what I'm saying.
Will he not call President Boakai and say, look, President Boakai, what is going on? Why are you sending a man here to do this? This is embarrassing.
Peabody, what am I saying? When was do you know when the last time President Weah and President Boakai spoke?
So can we talk to?
No, I'm coming. I'm going to end on this. You know when the last time President Weah and President Boakai spoke?
I don't know.
The last time they spoke was the day Weah conceded. So there's no relationship here. They don't have a communication. Unlike Weah and Ellen or Boakai and Ellen and all these other people, I think President Boakai visited Ellen once. All I'm saying is there's no harm in talking. It may not lead to anything, but it gives people an opportunity to be able to engage and to be able to look at things in a much different way. There's a lot that can be solved through diplomacy than through through the ruckus that we witnessed recently in Liberia. That's all I'm saying.
Grace, let me bring in Grace. So tomorrow the head of the ECOWAS Commission, His Excellency Ambassador Uman Alio Toure, will be arriving in Liberia to meet with President Weah and maybe President Boakai. So what do you expect of his trip to Liberia tomorrow? Because President Weah already wrote and complained that the partisans are being harassed and intimidated. So now, and some of them are in jail right now. So what you expect tomorrow as the ECOWAS Commission chair arrived tomorrow?
Well, there's always two sides to a story, and there's the truth. So we all, as right now, we are like standing like spectators. We don't know the nitty gritty of really what happened because CDC explaining their side, the government people explaining their side, the police explaining why they went there, and everybody think their side is right. There is nobody above the law when it comes to the law. You cannot challenge authorities. I said that before. Even in America, yeah, women have died because they told them to stop. They stopped and they couldn't put their hand on the wheel, and the police got a trickle and they shoot you like that. Does it make it right? No, it doesn't. It's not right. But when you in that kind of form of crisis, when you challenge authority, things happen. Now we hope that the president, the ECOWAS representatives are going to Liberia. They could be able to settle this because if the government, if the police or the DEA has authorities, or maybe they have a mandate to go and check in the back of CDC compound for drugs related or offenses or people who selling drugs, they have the right to do that. CDC is not a society within a society of Liberia. We are all one society. You cannot create a whole, court and say that, oh, they are separate people. You can't go around their place of stay or their compound. The police can come and knock my door right now. If I refuse to open it, they can break it open. This is America. It happens here. So what we see is that we hope they come there and bring peace, because I show that I'm not a UP person. I'm a Liberian. I will always stand with the government that is in power. I did it for Guar when he was president. Certain thing was done. I spoke for him, and I was not part of his party. So I'm just saying that, see, Haitians look at themselves to be different. They are not Liberians. They're supposed to be treated a certain way. They're supposed to carry on a certain way. The threats and things that are going on social media is just so grave that these people feel the need that they can threaten a whole government that is seated over a country. That is saying that people like Ara's Grace saying that he can separate, he can make sure he bring a segregation within the police. Then we ask ourselves, oh, they say Baka firing people from the government. Maybe that's the reason why the man is firing, the president is firing people, because before they left government, they put all the people into positions. So now Akara's Grace said he got authority over certain portion of the police, that the police will disrespect the police director that is in place. So those things are just like you bringing chaos to the country. And until we can tell the people they cannot continue to do this, it will bring problem to our country. And at the end of the day, the world will blame because he cannot control his partisans. And it's not good for our country. So we hope these people that are going to Liberia, they will be able to listen to both sides and be able to talk sense into the government, and also sense into you are no longer president. You are former president. You have to stay in your lane, brother. You are president. We give you the respect. A lot of things went on in our brother were not right. Nobody will come in the street to fight you, or those protests went on. You allow the people to protest. Sometimes you gaslighted them. You hot water power them. They were still there. Things went on. People got killed. You're seeing CDC people went to University of Liberia, got people from the prison to go and beat somebody who is a handicapped today. So how come now you're going to stop a whole government from going to arrest people who they think are drugs behind your place? Except you're part of the drug cartel behind your building, then you can let the people know. But I don't think you have the power to stop the government from even entering that compound. If they have a rate of paper to go there, they have the right to go there. You cannot stop them.
Okay, let me bring Lofa in. So Lofa, okay. First of all, it was a smooth transfer of power from Guar to Boyka. The next thing we saw happen was the issue of tenure position was being targeted. Next thing, President Guar was when he was being he was being accorded the dignity as a former president when he arrived in the country at the airport at the VIP lounge, and there were a lot of stuff behind it too. Then the next thing, they tried to tamper with his security detail. Okay, at one point in time, they told older folks some people who can hardly get on the ground, they were replacing them with social order folks to be a security detail. All that problem was happening. Now, then they started targeting some facilities people at the jobs. We heard about mass layoff and so forth. Now, all these things were happening. They've been happening. So, and they are being cataloged. So now, Lofa, we all know that maybe you're not aware, but from information we have is that the issue on Friday there was a fake rich search and seizure warrant issue. Fake. They tried to get it from the court. They couldn't get it from the court. Went there for some clerk in Yugutan gave them it. Went there and it backfired. So now, and what all happening? The guys go and said, "Look, we'll fight back," but instead we said, "Okay, let me meet with you guys and let me complain to ECOWAS," and he did with ECOWAS. So now, what's your take? I mean, with all the provocation that have taken place, you think it's right for him to take that position he's taking out?
Let me first of all start with the additional part of the question that was actually made when the question was posed to me. With all of those things, right? I think it's just adding on what we have. I think our focus here right now is the letter written to ECOWAS. And let me say this for you, the sake of our listening audience and the benefit of the general public. The primary responsibility of law enforcement is to protect lives and properties. Knowing this from the perspective of having to serve in the capacity of just educating law enforcement officers on technology related issue, not coming from me as a law enforcement, because I have no law enforcement background. But every time you engage one of these people, right, they will often say their primary responsibility is to protect lives and properties. Now, if you result to taking away, as it is stated, it is alleged that somebody died as a result of the law enforcement officers having to break in without a valid warrant. That is concerning. Okay, the warrant, as you spoke of earlier, Tomalin, it was not valid. So what that brings to mind is, how are they operating? Remember that the government's responsibility is not to be an opposition to her citizens. The government's responsibility is to govern. And that's part of the reason why I often say President Boycott lacks the leadership ability. One paramount characteristics of a true leader is the ability to unify. Okay? Unfortunately, it's been several months since his ascendancy to the presidency. You don't see any sign of unifying the country. We are falling farther apart, divided. We are becoming more divided under President Boycott's presidency as compared to that of President George Weah or Madam Ellen Sirleaf Johnson. Why are these things happening? The letter from President Weah to ECOWAS, I support that decision. You know why? Because we have a fragile peace in Liberia. I know how often people want to say, "Oh, we have peace in Liberia, we have peace in Liberia." Look. Peace is relative. If your people are going to bed hungry, they are not at peace with their bellies. If your kids are walking in the streets and they're not protected, they are not at peace, because the security of the state is also as paramount to anything else you can imagine. If pregnant women are being denied access to medical institutions, and simply because they don't have admission fees and they cannot afford it, and to some extent they are dying at child's birth, they are not at peace. So when President Weah made that decision to write ECOWAS and said, "Look, we need you to intervene." In other words, he's saying, come and be a part of the process to bring some sense here into the entire discourse What are we experiencing? Should we be fighting to unite the country so that we don't have to resort to what we experienced a few years ago? Or we should be here talking about how we can give opportunity. I heard Sister Grace mention, the issue of dismissal from jobs, because those who were hired under the CDC government may have been hired because they were seditious. One thing I can tell you, when
Don't
President,
misquote my words. Don't do that.
okay, so again,
You
if
just
I
said
misquote
exactly
you,
what I said.
okay,
If a then lawmaker, a lawmaker in the government before he was voted out, can be on social media, and he who is in the hierarchy of CDC and stating that he can split the whole entire Liberian National Police because they got the people in there. What do you want me to say? And he has that, and he has the guts to come on and say that. So then why it means that the people that left there, because they are sedition, they no longer work for the government of Liberia. They work for CDC. That's how you want our country to be.
okay. So
Nobody had to agree with my point. My point is my point. I have my own view. I always stay on the platform of independent mind. CDC is bringing something to this country, and we like to be politically correct. That's why I would like to back these kind of things. They are bringing something to this country. It's not fair. Ellen Johnson never did it to Wia when he was president and she was former president. Wia should not do that to Bwaka either. Now the police, whatever went on that place need to be investigated. You can't just jump on the car and say, "Oh, that was fake arrest warrant." The Tomalin saying until it's investigated, we're not take it as what they're saying. We will wait until the investigation goes on, and that's the right thing to do. Do you
okay.
think I want to sit on that platform and back Mr. Bwaka that I never voted for? Do you think that he would lead the country well? No. But when truth be true, when truth is, we have to say the truth. And I don't care who agree with me at this point in time. I agree with myself because I know what I'm saying. I'm saying it because I love Liberia. I don't love an individual. Thank you.
Okay. So in continuation, so Sis Grace, I'm glad that she made it clarity that, okay, because of Grace's statement that was made, let us not forget that Akaris Gray is a mere citizen, a former lawmaker, currently as a citizen. He's just like every other citizen going forward. What we should consider is the law that governs the state, not an individual statement. The law should actually apply. If the government is concerned about a specific statement made by an individual, let the law be applied. Let us not simply deviate from the constitutional mandates that all of us are supposed to subscribe to and simply say, oh, no, you know what? Because this is happening here. No, because that person was once. No. Now, President Boykai is in power. He controls how things are supposed to be done based on the Constitution. And that's what I'm simply saying. President Weah, in closing, decision to reach out to ECOWAS was a good decision because at this point, what we are experiencing in the country, in addition to Tomalin's narrative of all of the previous incidents, we must be very careful that when President Weah was in power, when women were being abused, we took to the streets, we protested, okay? We spoke against bad governance. When President Boyka comes to power, he is supposed to be experienced and exhibit some level of understanding of good governance. Unfortunately, he's performing dismally and dividing the state further than it has been divided. In order for us to move Liberia forward, we cannot simply continue to apply that, the divide and rule idea and think that this is how we can move Liberia forward. I think the police, as it is stated, and I want to be emphatically clear on my statement. It is stated that the warrant was fake. All right. It is alleged that the warrant was fake. It wasn't authentic based on information from LDEA and other government officials. Okay. Stated that it wasn't right. So if that is not right, what is the police or law enforcement responsibility? It all falls back on their responsibility, the oath that they took. Their oath is to protect lives and property. And in the process, when life is taken away without any justification, that the life of a law enforcement officer was at risk, then it should be concerning to each and every one of us. And we should not look at it based on partisan line. Neither should we look at it based on political institutions. We should look at it based on the fact that those who have been victimized are Liberians. And the perpetrators, or the perpetrators, of course, are also Liberians.
But did you watch the video, Lofa? Why you say? Did you watch that video? Did you not see the seditions people? The seditions took huge rock and was throwing it at the police. So if one police had died or two of them had died, what you would be saying here today?
So
you
great.
think
Great. Can I just simply respond to Grace? Give me 30 seconds, please, if I could. So Grace, why it is true that there were actions on the part of the members of, and we cannot simply sit here and classify everyone who were part of that group to have been seditions. Okay, they are Liberians, because we were not able to identify these individuals based on their political identification, which would have been either their party cards or all of these things.
But who headquarters was attacked, Lofa?
It was the CDC. Why it is true that the CDC headquarters was attacked, but you cannot simply say every individual.
Well, the people were
visits. Chris, can I just?
Yeah, but
Chris, can I just? I'm trying to land here, but if you guys will allow me, if not, it's okay. All right, I'm done. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, let me bring everybody in quickly, right?
Okay, I'm done.
All right, listen now. Okay, don't forget though, the countries. I don't care what people say. Let us not forget, the election result was 50.6% for Boaca, 49.3% for Wea. Now, the country is divided. Say, take it or leave it. And mind you, Boaca is not Ellen. What Ellen did, to her advantage, she had 18,000 foreign troops on the ground. And what she did, she embraced her opposition opponents. She embraced them and was in dialogue with them. She was in touch with Bromsky, with Wea constantly. Now, since Boaca election, he has yet to reach out, extend his hand to his opposition friends. He has not done it yet. Now, mind you, let me just say this though. When the reason why people are concerned and ECOWAS intervention is important, let me give you a short history before I go to Peabody. 1990, when ECOWAS intervened, at that time, the late Gambian President Jawara was chairman of ECOWAS. What happened was, you have Guinea was being governed by our military leader Conte, Nigeria Babangida in uniform, Rawlings Ghana was in uniform, Joseph Momo in uniform. So ECOWAS was being governed by military leaders. And what they did, they were quick to take a decision. So look, they came together. So look, we must intervene in Liberia. Now you have civilian leaders in this country today to take a decision to intervene in Liberia will be very hard. Just say if the country gets into any kind of a crisis, and that's the fear of everyone. Okay, everyone's having that fear that if the country gets into some crisis, honestly, it will be very hard for any intervention to take place. That's why people are saying ECOWAS coming is important. We are taking our action to call ECOWAS is very important. But people waiting. What happened Friday, and it is established. You can call the code there. They have already seen it. That the issue is that the warrant wasn't a genuine warrant. It was now a legitimate warrant. It went there, and that kind of brought a problem, and that's the chaos happened.
And look, Tomalin, and I think if that was the case, if it had been verified that the warrant wasn't the right warrant, then I think President Barker needs to act accordingly. I think he has to rule in his government for the police being misinformed and then taking such action. I think he has to rule. But let me say this: I don't think President Wea and Barker are keeping speech.
Yeah.
They are precedent. President Barker have helped. President Wea helped President Barker on many occasions. You know, the two of them are high stakes men. I think in a situation like that, I would pick up the phone and call and see whether he does not pick up my phone. I would call and say President Barker, because you know what? It's a great thing that President Wea wrote to ECOWAS, but ECOWAS is coming. If they come and President Barker said, "Look, man, y'all got nothing to do with this," they can't do nothing. They will stay out of it. They can't do nothing because right now, what happened in Liberia, ECOWAS could say, you know what, there's a domestic issue. You'll handle that, even though President we are with us. But the government of Liberia, ECOWAS understand that there's a government in Liberia. Okay, they can choose those. Hey, we'll talk to you or not. We'll not talk. But what I'm saying is, in the interest of peace, in the interest of stability for our country, I would call if I was President we are. I would pick up a phone. I would call Black. I said, look, President Barker, what is this? Why are you sending your men to attack my party headquarters? Why did you do this? And if I don't get any kind of redress from him, then I will engage the international community. Then you have proven that President Barker does not want to really engage me in the interest of peace. You know, President, we are still, he's the former president. He deserves all the respect as the former president. But equally so, I would hope that he would have given the sitting president a call. Why did ECOWAS come? President Barker said, but I didn't know about it. Why he didn't give me a call to find out what, you know, stuff like that, so I can get on top of it. So what I think here is, you know, I don't support anybody going in any headquarters attacking anybody or doing anything. But again, in the interest of peace, engage him and see what happened, and then we'll move on. But that thing of it's a great thing to write to ECOWAS, write to the international community. The international community say, well, you know, that's a domestic problem. They have a government. They should take care of it and stuff like that. What else can we talk about? ECOWAS has solved any problem before? ECOWAS can't even solve their own issue.
They brought peace to Liberia, though. Okay,
but they didn't tell we had to give Cabinet General money. They could solve that problem. Let me just say something here quick, Tomalin. Even if that paperwork was not right, it was not the right or whatsoever they're supposed to have to go and do any arrest. It was not the right warrant. You cannot attack the police. How you can say that you're living in America, you're encouraging? You can attack the police, you the money. You and the police come to your house, Jenna, and knock and say, you know what, we need to check. Even if they don't show you any arrest warrant, can you attack the police here in the country?
But they will not do it. They will not do it. The police will all know.
No, but it could be a mistake. It could be a mistake. You cannot attack authorities.
It says a hot pursuit. It says a hot pursuit. In hot pursuit, they are going after a target. Hot pursuit. Okay, they can do that in pursuit, but to just come and enter your house, you know, is it possible?
No. And sometimes it could be a mistake that sometimes the police are trying to find something and they miss the house. When the police come and knock the door, you can't attack the police. Say, well, what are you doing here? And you start throwing rocks at the police. So I'm not saying what the police did was right. I'm also not saying the way CDC people handle it was right. That's why I see the ECOWAS people come in, because we cannot continue to tolerate seditions and the rude behavior. Even when the president, we are our president, they had that same behavior. They whole thing where Lofa saying we protest. Yeah, we protest against liberty. They attack people in Liberia for protesting against it. Did we are doing anything much concerning rape? No, I got a whole database. So nobody can tell anything. We're not blaming him. He's out of power now. We just say team your people. These people, they need to be team. Even when you on their platform, they all over the place, cursing you, insulting you. They are not team. You cannot form a society.
I think that some of them just get emotional.
Get the hell out of Liberia and let we get our land and create your country. Liberia is one. We are not going to have a separate society because of you. Period. That's the same thing I'm going to say about
yes, let be fair. Okay. I always say this platform here ain't for opposition, but just for Liberian people. So that's why we're free to talk. On a serious note, Grace, if you want to be honest, since the inception of this government, honestly, even you're not a sedition, you're supporting we are, but you are seeing a level of provocation. Honestly, they have been provoked many times. Okay, and on a serious note, if we are have some temperament where he will say, well, I'll react, it would have gone out of hand ever since. Now, honestly,
so where is he reacting to? Because he never sat in the presidential launch.
Besides that, Grace, okay, do you know that there have been times where the president's security duty was almost compromised? You saw it. We witnessed it. Okay, there have been times of it. But no, honest, look, for the fact
and
we're
not seeing it's right. This is not what we are seeing here. Those things are not right. I don't think President, and I said here what you have said it. This man shouldn't be treated unfairly. I talk about him not being given the presidential launch to even sit in. I say it was wrong. But we will say what right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And that's what makes them always be different. The police can have a warrant to come to your house and they can make a mistake and go to somebody else's house and knock the door. Doesn't mean that you should react rudely to the police. The police will tell you, say we came, but they said this is not where it's supposed to, this is not, it's not happening in my house. And that's just the right thing. You cannot challenge authority. That's what I'm trying to say.
CDC is, let me frank, right? CDC is the largest opposition political party. Grace, they have the capacity to disrupt the peace and tranquility of the country.
They cannot do it. Now when Greg come up with a police, then they try it.
Wait.
What's the thing that they talk for in Africa the last time we even know what they're going for? And they think they got power and they got the way Akaba's going on. Oh, they will do that. Let them try it. The people will subdue them. You think everyone say the African country around one war in a country?
So what happened?
People can fight for funny thing. You won't get we are the rest of your life. Your situation and your get we are the rest of your life. We're not going to get someone. I want to know what people are not the rest of your life.
After as an independent person, when I'm for party, I will answer you. Let me be honest with you.
Grace. But we're not talking about party here, but don't say the biggest opposition.
You're attacking CDC like you're attacking them.
This is not attack. Because I want you to incite that kind of thing. I was saying, but they're the bigger party. So what they can do? Can't kill all Liberians. You can like bro, just enough for CDC to run what they let the day when they were president. People were hiding when we were president. People were hiding on their beds and stuff. When they get in the street and make the country look like they were militarizing the country, where you by acting like soil people. That nonsense will stop. Like bro, don't need that kind of society. The police will subdue them if they continue. They can say anything about me. I don't care. Like bro, we are not used to that. We are civilized people. Even our people in the interior, they are civilized. We don't need that kind of thing. You don't carry to your party headquarters. You leave it there.
You cannot single a party up and attack the members. Let's be frank, okay? You can't single it out. Why are you trying to do that?
The party member, they shouldn't single me or attack me because I'm free, like where I can speak my mind. That's my point. They are not going to tell. I don't care. They can be the biggest opposition party. They can win the election with 2 votes. He won the election.
And guess what?
The government chance to do their job.
And guess what? The very day he won election, we were there. Just we are calling him. I was there when he made that call.
He had no choice.
Grace, the idea he made that call, even at the time, his parents were not even happy for it.
And we applaud him for that.
Yeah, he made that call.
But he shouldn't make it. He should leave that in history and let it write in his history. But the way he proceeded now, he the judge we have because he's former president. He asking for too much. They think that he never get any justice, and that's why he asking Baka to do for him. And Baka will not do it. The people need to investigate drugs in the back of the CDC headquarters. They will investigate drugs. How did they think? Are you guys think you guys are an island in Liberia? Then go and find another land and make your own island there. But Liberia, the society will be okay. The police need to do what it's supposed to do, and when they come there and it's not right. And they do what is wrong, you have to take the police to court. They power you take rocks and things, start training at the police. The police too got their training at home. They got their wives, they need to go back home to so they will protect themselves. That's just the right thing to do.
It's good that ECOWAS chairman to Alio to Ray coming to country tomorrow, because honestly, we should never underestimate the power of an opposition party, especially with a party like CDC. Don't underestimate them. They just how you look. So you cannot push them.
CDC should never underestimate the government.
But that's why you see they're not taking laws into their hands. That's why you see they are calling on the national community to intervene. Say, look, you'll come intervene and you'll talk to what's happening. Which the leader did by writing the ECOWAS and say, look, and other countries said, oh, yes, our situation. And writing the date. Okay, but we should not say we should not dare them and say, oh, they can't do nothing, they can push them out of the Liberia. No. They are only expressing themselves as
nobody says you push out of that, but they feel they are not part of the Liberian society. They cannot separate themselves from the Liberian society, at my point. They quote here what Sylvia says, the bigger opposition party. We tired with that. We need to be our country. We are is no longer president. He should sit down in his former president position and watch Baka carry on what he's supposed to carry on. Because right now we're talking about that we need to be putting Baka foot to the fire to do things that we want him to accomplish in our country. Instead of focusing on a political party, what feed their military people wearing barra, oh, this and that. You will say, oh, we don't have time for that. Liberia is a civilized country. We need to move according to that. Our people need help in the interior. They are living there. What happened to in District 2 the other day with vulnerability? You know what happened there? So people lost their lives trying to help Liberia. Those people that fell in that water, they were going there because they want to help Liberians. Vulnerability, what he's doing to try to build bridges in the areas for his people, he's trying to help the country. We should focus on that. And may those people so rest in peace. We don't care about the citizens who feel that they are entitled to things in the country that they are not entitled to. Every Liberian entitled to whatsoever they are entitled to. We are not going to sit there and encourage them to attack police and police to just sit there because they're the largest opposition party in the country. So what? Your time over, the people voted you, or they never trusted we have to go for another 6 years. You have to drink that one with a cup of tea and sleep. That's what you need to do.
Lofa, come to Lofa.
Okay, so a couple things I feel like I need to, first of all, let us get right. I'm glad that Grace mentioned that our focus should be on the government and what they're supposed to do right, not what CDC is doing wrong. I'm glad that she highlighted that. Great statement, because you know why? If you want those who are much more of the victims here, because the alleged dead body would have been one of those who were protesting. So if we have to focus on what is supposed to be done right, let's focus on what the government is doing wrong.
Protesting with rocks.
That is the law. That
in America, you can go protest with rock. Carry yourself on the road, you not go protest with rock. They can take it from there, you know. Protesting with rocks and trying to kill the police that just came to make sure they were doing what they were supposed to do. We have to be fair on this platform for Liberia to change. We cannot sit here and continue to do this and try to. The government is supposed to be able to calm the country down. We agree. But at the same time, we have to also agree that the citizens of the country have to respect authorities. And we know we live in the free world. Even in the free world, we cannot disobey the police when they stop us, when they tell us. We even teach our children that. When we're growing up, you cannot do that. So, Lofa, let's just be. The government is supposed to take its charge and make sure peace and safety is in the country. At the same time, the citizens are supposed to respect authorities until something is not right for them to take it to court. If they did not throw rocks at the police, the people are not going to react. That is not protest. Throwing rocks on the police authority is not protest. People protest, they stand still and they say what they have to say. We all have done protests. You myself, have been in protests together. And you know we were not there to go and take rock and throw it at the police. Not even at the Liberian embassy. We all went there. We stood out there. The people came pop out there and you know they came later on, they didn't listen to already went but the business. Did you throw rocks at any other representative for we are time? We did not do that. So we cannot encourage that in our country, and we're looking for change in the country. That is not right.
So, Grace, I want to reiterate something that I spoke of earlier. The police responsibility, or law enforcement, let me not say police, law enforcement responsibility, at least based on what I know, is to, first of all, protect lives and property, maintain the peace to the best way possible until it is beyond their control. Okay. When evaluations are done as to what may have caused death in any situation, whether it was protest or just a mistake, at the end of the day, they look at the police action thoroughly before they even look at the citizens, because the law enforcement officers take off. Okay, what I'm saying here today, I am not in support of any disgruntled act on the part of any protester. I'm simply saying to us, like you mentioned earlier, rightfully, that the government should not be the focus point. If the government should be the focus point, like you rightfully said, why are we then trying to blame a political institution that could possibly be using these different events or activities to gain political recognition, instead of looking up to the government to say, look, it is expected of you to exhibit the true understanding of leadership and the experience that you claim you had during the elections. You claim that you have 40 some more years of governing experience. Why are you not governing accordingly? Why are you instigating to some extent some of the incidents that we are witnessing here today? Why were they at a site, a political party headquarters, with the warrants that wasn't even right in the first place? I am not siding with CDC. Okay, you and if anyone ever received enough insults from seditions, I can put my hands up and say my mom, my dad, and all relatives in my family received the greatest insults. But at the end of the day, that does not negate the fight that they are Liberians. And if we must govern beyond the length and breadth of the country. All Liberians must be recognized as Liberians, not as political party members. And if we continue to dwell on the fact that people are members of political institutions, then we will never bridge the gap, because we will continue to focus.
But they tell CDC that. You should be saying that to the sedition, because they focus on the fact that they are seditions. It's not nobody trying to separate them. They are separating themselves. So you want to tell me that what happened whatsoever the alleged party? How can you come here conclusion and say that, okay, it was the police that killed that person? Didn't you see the video that they were throwing rocks at the police as well? If the police were that disgruntled, you think that more people are going to even die that day? Those kind of big rocks that were thrown at them? So we have to talk on both sides, and Alex Joseph here, so we can get him chance to speak.
And Grace, why I understand, and I was trying to land, but then you kept interrupting me, so I kept stopping for you.
No, I just interrupted you just now, just right now.
A couple times, but I let it go.
Whatever.
But in all reality, the incident that took place at the CDC headquarters and President Weah's decision to reach out to ECOWAS and said, look, we need your intervention. We need you to make sure that we are aware of your contribution to the peace and stability of the nation. Reach out to our counterparts. Let them know. President Boykai is not my enemy. I am not President Boykai's enemy. I'm a citizen. Going forward, the former president is a citizen like you and I. He's no longer in authority. So he should abide by the law like everybody else. But this is my only concern. I will not focus on CDC because CDC is no longer behind the steering wheel. You know who's behind the steering wheel? It is President Joseph Numa Boykai and his entourage that are now behind the steering wheel. In order for Liberia to progress, okay, and hopefully be transformed, it will be on the shoulder of President Boykai's ability or his ability to transform the country based on good leadership. Unfortunately, one characteristic of a true leader that is lacking, and I continue to amplify this message, is the ability to unite the country. President Boykai lacks the ability to unite the country, and that is why you're seeing seditions and other people running all around this place. I use one last example, and I keep quiet on this note. When CDC was in power, it took seditions and opposition political party to get Darius DeLone elected. It wasn't because they felt like they were seditious, so they did not. They saw reason why they needed to elect Darius DeLone. They united under an umbrella to send a message to CDC. So in the mass number voted into office Darius incompetent DeLone. Today, he's serving as a senator. They did not see themselves as sedition. They saw themselves as people who have been victimized based on the poor performance of the leadership at the time. So let us continue to do that. Let us bring ourselves together and hold those in leadership accountable for the dismal performance and refusal to adhere to the cries of the people. If we continue to focus on the division based on political alignments, we will never move Liberia forward, because we will continue to argue among ourselves and we will deviate from the actual issue on ground. Corruption, and other things that we're supposed to be focusing on and educating our people on, highlighting those issues in our country, we will be distracted by those simple things that we can handle behind a closed door and highlight the issue of corruption and failure on the part of members in leadership. Thank you.
Chuchu, welcome to the
Chuchu
platform.
Jones.
Thank
What's
you very
up,
much, guys. Again, the beautiful. Why you giving my sister Grace Hata for?
You know they just something to say.
I tell you.
The thing is, before you come in, Alex,
Uh-huh.
citizens on this platform need to understand that everybody here is entitled to the right.
Thank you.
You cannot be insulting somebody because she's expressing her view, and you're crying for justice. But somebody expressing the view, you're all under there insulting and doing this. This is not how you do things. This is not
But
how
how
you
they
do
carry
it.
on for the last
It's
6 years,
wrong.
how they both voted the government, or they didn't continue cussing. Some of y'all will never even reach my tone, so you continue cussing. I care. I don't care.
Grace,
So-
you got to understand the past 6 years, people would deal with it. Just again,
Myself dealt with it. Even talking against rape, they were still insulting because we're president and he president, so you can't talk against. They can't talk to show you how simple-minded these people are. Everybody have their own views. That's my view. I'm a Liberian just like you. So you cuss me and you do that, doesn't take anything away from me. I am living. I am. Ask Tomalin George will tell you. I am. So that's it.
Yeah, I don't think they need to do that. I think
So let me just add.
everybody expressing the view. They can disagree. Edith, we come in, we can disagree. What we're looking at here is we have a party who is really pissed that Black guys in power. But Black guys did y'all handed power before they even counted the election. So why you're so mad with this government? Why? Go ahead, Alex.
You gotta need a kickbacks and there's small money there. You will not get it.
Y'all get it for free
Tomalin,
power.
how are you?
You're vexed with other people who criticizing.
Your jail, their power, the money you store, you're finish now. How it finish so quick?
All right.
Yeah, you get dry, yeah, you will get dry.
Okay. So let me say this. Again, I think I share both sides of the sentiment. My first disappointment, again, so I know they're gonna start cussing me right now, so they can go ahead. Is President Weah administration is over. He needs to step down. Okay, he needs to move on with his life. Okay, this thing where you leave power and you still want to be political leader and you still want to be around, let somebody else do the job. You've served your country. It's time for you to retire. You retire. As long as he remains in Liberia to be active in politics, you're going to have tension. Many presidents in other countries, you got Obasanjo in Nigeria, you had Jerry Rawlings in Ghana, former presidents. They move on. They went into humanitarian work. They went into international work. You have Ellie Johnson Sirleaf, my own nemesis, who are despised. But after her presidency, she went into other things. She didn't say she won't be Unity Party political spokesman. She didn't say she won't. When you serve, you leave. So I think that's part of the problem here. Are you telling me that nobody in CDC to take over? Nobody, that only George Weah will get there with that? So this message is for him. You serve your country, you turn power over. Let CDC run itself. Look for capable people and become a useful citizen. You can't be a partisan and not expect for people to disrespect you. So long you're in politics, like I used to tell Barker, we're equals. You have your views, I have my view. If you want to be a statesman, then retire and do stately things. That Jimmy Carter, he retired, he went to Habitat Humanities, he building houses for poor people. So he's well respected. And so many other presidents. Now, my views on the incident is that the police was wrong. Okay. And I don't care whether it's CDC police chief or a Liberian police chief or a US police chief. I remember during the what you call the riot in California where they had the Rodney King. Okay. There was a verdict, against Rodney King, who was brutalized by the police, and it brought a riot, not even protest. Billions of dollars worth of property, people died. The police, they had to bring in a National Guard, if we can remember. Immediately, the police chief resigned. Because why? It's his responsibility to keep order. Keeping order does not always mean violence. In Europe today, France, they are protesting, they are burning down government buildings, putting cow manure on properties. How many people have gotten shot?
Yep.
So this thing here, every time there's a protest, then the police got to open fire, will lead us nothing to another war. Because you kill somebody's brother or sister, what you wanted to do?
Retaliate.
Police mean, controlling your police, you took an oath to save and protect. I have seen police here where college students will be fighting, throwing things at police, individual fighting.
Yes.
The police, in the cases where the police use violence, they go to jail sometimes. We saw George Floyd in Minnesota. The police chief had to resign. The mayor had to resign. So the thing that Gregory Cuomo doing, every time there will be violence in every country. There will be protests in every country. There will be riot in every country. Whether in France, the Netherlands, Europe, anywhere. So every time you have school children that are violent and cause disruption, you go to open fire. You're not a military. Even where peacekeepers are in the country, who are military forces, they exercise restraint. So he's been very incapable in terms of maintaining peace in Liberia. You saw it in King George. How many people died? Property will be destroyed. When citizens are angry, they will destroy property. It happened right here. Police stations were burned down. People marched on the Capitol, went into the Capitol building. How many people were shot? How many people were killed? So there's no justification for using lethal force, in these two situations. It's wrong and it's very unprofessional. There are many things you could have done. You could have encircled the place, all right, and stand down and call for negotiators. The people are not going to sleep in the CDC headquarters. But anytime a police person draw a weapon on a peaceful citizen, it should be a last resort. Nobody use guns.
But
Yeah, Mark,
the
police.
Akawas Grekin, and he and the police had a negotiation, and he told the police to step back. The people went back. They stood back, but the people was throwing rocks at the police. Now, I'm not saying that the police should have retaliated for anybody to die. That's
Correct.
not what I'm saying. But what
Correct.
I'm saying is that the way these people the way they carry on like that, to the police too, they got blood running in their veins. There are somebody people.
And I totally agree. Like I said, the CDC party is disjointed. They do not have proper leadership. Is not helping the situation because they don't. Where CDC leadership? They are a party that were in power for 6 years, so they got their own problems. I agree, they have their own problem, and they're not contributing in any way, to society. They're involved in a whole bunch of corruption. They are supporting people who are accused of corruption. There's very same people who are responsible today for their lives, but no schools and hospitals. So they got their own problem. We condemn it all the time. But what I'm saying, as a police chief, someone who is well equipped, you cannot tell me that anytime there's a protest, you order your soldiers to shoot. Like I just cited 2 examples. And I can go right now, we can go in Europe. They are protesting all around Europe. The protesters are if I don't even protest, it's a riot. They are burning down public buildings. While the police in Europe do not open fire on the crowd. Because they are trained and they understand public tension. It'd be going on for months. Now hours, now days, months. So why is it that every time this man orders police to open fire, it's not right.
Okay.
That's how you have, in Kenya, they burn down the parliament. You can use tear gas. Tear gas is fine, except all the police are equipped with gear that if you throw object at them, they will be mostly secure. They have riot police. They have equipment. They are trained for crowd control. What we're spending all the money on the police to buy all the equipment when they opening fire on crowd. So we shouldn't back that part. He is wrong, and I think he should resign because there's been 2 incidences where people had died unnecessarily for opening fire. It's like trigger happy. It's not the only country. In China, people protest. During the coronavirus, people protested. I have protested in America where the police were there and nobody can open fire on anybody. So this thing he's doing, he is fully responsible for it, and he is, he cannot control the situation. People protesting, encircle the place, let them stay. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. All you see is tear gas. They're burning buildings. These are farmers. These are people. They've been doing it for months. Thank you.
You're
Lofa.
not sure that to our people so they can go point.
Well, the fact about it is, Grace,
Yeah,
the 2 wrongs cannot make a right. The people are wrong to if you violate the law. Nobody here saying that people violate the law, they should let go. Even the people in the Capitol Hill, most of them were arrested. Most of them now facing felony. But what the police did, the police stood down, they isolated the situation, they took their time, they investigated, and those who were involved did not facing criminal
And you are
charges.
right.
Alex, you want to compare Liberia to
Thank
that
you.
of America, a developed country. It's almost
Why
Yeah,
not?
but
Why not?
Gregory Cuomo,
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Dr.
There's something
Peabody,
called
Gregory
cultural
Cuomo went to
relativism.
Harvard, I think.
Cul-
Gregory Cuomo studied in America. Gregory Cuomo is trained in America. He's trained in policing and law enforcement. I'm not a police officer, but I can read.
You know, let me
And
say
I'm
this,
citing
right?
you situation where I would have known better if I were police director to say, you know what, stand down and don't open fire. Let them throw their rocks.
I mean, they were wrong for shooting, killing people. They were
Exactly.
wrong. They were wrong.
That's my
But
point.
you know what I'm saying is, there's no way we can compare it to that of America because, like, if you burn one part of the city,
Okay, what about Kenya?
well, Kenya is far ahead of Liberia. Kenya well developed.
But how are we going to get fire here? How are we not going to enter in another war or instability when we're always using the wrong
whatever the situation was, it was wrong for them to have gone there and even attack those people, knowing that they had a fake warrant. They were wrong, totally wrong.
Exactly.
The use of lethal force should be a last resort. Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything warrants when using lethal force. But I say that. Let me just clarify something. Alex Jones. Every party like CDC, their own constitution, right? The constitution on CDC, they allow you when you stand up political leader for 6 years. When you go to convention, they can choose a new political leader. So right now, we are the last stand up bearer, so he's the political leader of the party. Under the go to convention and choose the new leader. And number 2, he just 57 years old. The man can still run for another term. So, but I think if the man retire,
He's trying to run for another
yeah,
term.
but
My advice to him.
But you say the man move for that.
No. What I'm saying here, and this is a friendly advice.
For the sake
Okay.
and mind you, look, it's important that you have these leaders around. Look, me tell you something. Me give an example, right? Let's go. When Ellen was president, at that time I was very active in CDC at national level. Look, do you know that? So keep that peace in Liberia. Ellen, they show that she was interested in Weah and Brownskin at the time. That can make Weah peace ambassador. Because look, you cannot say you'll be an island alone. But have that rapport with your opposition.
Your opposition.
Because if anything should happen right now, who will you call? Who will you tell to say, look, it's a restraint? So that I can deal with it when
But Timothy, what I'm saying here is this. Yeah. If Weah was not serving as a political leader, he would be a far more important individual because why? He would be somebody that everybody will look to whenever there's a problem. But him being a political leader now compromises his position. When he was peace, even though he was peace ambassador for Liberia, but I did not see him in any active role in terms of politics. Okay, he was serving as a peace ambassador. He was in contact with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, right? In this case here, the first thing that he did when Twitter was charged, right? He came out and said it was witch hunt. How does he know it was a witch hunt? There's no investigation yet. There's no criminal proceeding yet. Well, as a statement, what you would do is welcome the trial. and ask everybody to cooperate. When a verdict is carried out, then you can come on and say the trial, there was a mistrial or something. But if you come on every time a CDC official gets accused of a crime, then you come out and say, oh, that witch hunt. When he accused Eddie Johnson's son, this very same Weeks and the late Charles Salif, he arrested them and put them in jail for corruption. Okay. In fact, when Eddie Johnson was asked, okay, on an international broadcast, what she said, according to our law, we do not comment on proceeding cases. This was her son that was arrested.
So,
So he
and he
needs to
said,
learn those kind of
he said,
diplomatic and those kinds of
he
things.
lied. She spelled a lot of this, so she didn't say.
No, but I agree. She knew, she
was
was very
very
expedient.
But honestly, look, let them we'll move to our next topic, which is the issue with McGill, right? But let me, but honest, well, just before we move there, it is important that when you in a country like Liberia, where they divided the country, you keep your political opponents, you keep them you keep in touch with them. You cannot just take it from them to maintain the peace and stability of that country. No, we went through war. From what I see, you don't want to see that country go, because look, if the people start resisting and fighting back, look, going back, I'll be frank, people get out of hand, and then who will come in this situation? So look, let us thank let's continue to pray for peace, and we're happy that the road that the ECOWAS are being called the intervene. Let them intervene tomorrow. And hear what he will say tomorrow when the men arrive. Let him be with the two leaders and see what happens. But guys, on Lofa, let's start Lofa. What's your take on the issue of McGill filing a prohibition against? But mind you now, the Justice in Chamber, Justice Kabar, I think the issue of a stay order today on the issue involving Tue and others for that 6 million economic sabotage case. He has put a stay order on that case now. So right now there's a stay order on the case. But what's your take on McGill's prohibition he a lawyer filed for him in the court today? What's your take on it? But just get your lay, man.
Well, I mean, again, coming from a man who is not a legal practitioner, I think in adherence to the law, I don't see a problem. I don't have any problem with his decision. Now, if it is honored by the legal system, that's what it is. If it's denied, then that is in the best interest of maybe the Constitution or the legal book that they are supposed to follow. But here's my thing, right? I hear a lot of people are complaining with this issue of witch hunt. This is where I come in to say we need to stop this nonsense. If you are brave enough to steal from the country, you should be prosecuted. Do the crime, serve the time. This is a regular saying. If you grew up in any of the hoods, okay, like Park Hill and other places, Staten Island, there's a normal saying. Do the crime, serve the time. Okay, if you're willing to go ahead and do something wrong, you should be willing to serve the time. So whatever proceeding that is required legally, I think we should not walk away from that. We should allow the law to take its course. And I'm glad that at least McGill, one of those whom I have total disagreement with, I don't know how in the world this man is even serving as a senator. It is disgusting to think about, but at the end of the day, he is a senator. He represents Liberians, and every Liberian must respect decisions made in his interest, on his behalf, I mean, by the state. So I would say to you, hey, guess what? If that's what it is, if it is accepted, then that's what it is. We cannot fight it. But I honestly think that the likes of McGill, Tour, and other people should not be anywhere around governance. That's going to be the Tour should not be anywhere around government. McGill should not be anywhere around government. Your cut head, cut neck chicken, Lester Tennant, who runs around with this self-proclaimed educated man and master's degree holder, should not be anywhere around government anyway. He attempting to criticize CDC because he's not satisfied, or he wasn't satisfied with what he got from CDC. So he's throwing all of the insults and jabs at President Weah today. He himself should not be anywhere. But I will focus on what we are talking about and discuss that another day. My short response here is, if he's following the law, I think we should respect him for the mere fact that he's adhering to the law. So be it.
The body. What you make up about McGill filing for prohibition for that whatever action he did as Minister of State is covered by presidential immunity? Do you agree with that? You muted. Body.
Sorry, yeah. Look,
Yeah.
I was join other in saying that I'm limited when it comes to the legal part of that, but I think if it is within the law, I think the law must take a course. The law is the law, But I'm just questioning why, when they remove others, they could not put rid of prohibition on those kind of things. Like other people that were removed earlier in part of this government, that were removed from their job and replaced by other people. So but if it's in his right to do it, why not the law take a course? That's Liberia for you. That's Liberia. You got a lot of people who were sanctioned, and they were elected. So that's the law. Let the law take a course. If he's entitled to that right and having immunity as senator, not to be charged, then it should take a course.
Okay.
Tuju.
So again, I know I'm going to be very controversial on this. But here's what I'm saying. In this case here, McGill should not even be asked to go anywhere. I do not like McGill. I think he's very corrupt, along with many of the officials in Liberia. But if you're going to prosecute McGill, then you have to prosecute Amar Kone. You have to prosecute Auguste Kafuya. You got to prosecute all those in the previous administration.
So what it did? What Gavana did?
For the same corruption.
What did Gafan do?
There were many
Amara
reports over here.
Or Amara ever indicted?
Like I said, unless you're willing to tell me, that no corruption went on from 2006 to 2012, unless you can sit here and say nobody stole money, nobody misappropriated money, nobody invested money, then you can make your case. As far as the international community is concerned, and as far as even Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is concerned, that there were massive corruption in those governments. And in the heads of those governments, just like McGill,
who should have audited them, though?
Who should
have audited them?
But who stopped me anybody from auditing them? The scene where have broker order to have certain agencies over a certain period of time audited. My point here is justice. You can't cherry pick justice. If you want to hold individuals for corruption, then you have to hold every living individual that participated in any form of corruption.
Right.
Let them be charged. Let them go and clear the name. But to just select and pick McGill and pick Twer, I'm totally against that. Like I said, don't have to be political leader. Some of us here, we are very balanced. When there's wrong against them, we will defend them. In this case, this very government, over the last 6 months, the inaugural money, why are they investigating people? Why nobody went to jail? Or read the newspaper, all the misappropriation that's happened over the last 12 months. Let them get it off my face talking about the prosecuting in law. They are witch hunting. And it's bad for the country. And they should be ashamed of themselves. It's not going to go anywhere, because if you're going to select individuals, your political opponent, then all of us who's independent will defend them. End of story. Let the man go home, have charges. Serious about corruption.
No, but no. But let's get it clear though. You see, again, the audit that they are pursuing, and they were audit that were done by CDC. CDC did the audit, and they only appointed people at LACC. Okay, but the question is, because again, I talked to some lawyers, right? And people said no. Some lawyers that we in a chat room we talk about it is that like you said, their case may not go nowhere. The cases that they're right now, because it's simple. Okay, if you say you charging the people for economic stuff and sabotage or so, and they're telling you that the money was used for security operation. How do you what do you do? And yeah, for covert, what can you do? Not much you can do about it. So that's why we are watching. We're watching how the cases are handled and so forth. But on the overall, we got to find out tomorrow. Maybe we have a lawyer, maybe Wednesday or so, to find out for us whether whether Magay is right. He is in his own right that wherever he did in office as Minister of State, whether he is covered by presidential immunity. Okay, I've seen it happen. Some people compare with Trump in America. Trump committed. Trump was involved in criminal acts here. I know, but again, the Supreme Court said, look, well, Trump is covered by certain immunity acting office. But again, Grace, you won't weigh in.
And that was also a politically motivated case, because even Joe Biden, and he classified information, he took them, his son was involved in massive corruption, Hillary Clinton too was involved in corruption. It's nonsense.
Nobody
Again, we should not pick sides because we don't like somebody. The House of Representatives said that Joe Biden committed a lot of crimes.
Who says so?
Look it up. I was seeing it right now. Like I said, I follow the news. They said that only because of his age that they're not going to act on it. I put in the chat.
That's not true. That's not true.
That's what I'm saying. My own, I have facts, so I'll put it.
Biden's son was found guilty and about to be sentenced.
Yes.
Trump refused. They even gave notice to him. He refused. He was holding on to it. But Biden said,
not talking about Trump yet. Let's go back to our life.
Don't bring Trump in here.
Trump did not refuse. The reason why they hold on to Trump stuff right now because he's running for president. If he doesn't win, he will still be held accountable after he wins. And
he refused to check Mar-a-Lago for the document. He refused. That one he refused.
There are a lot of breaking news on the yellow machine, though.
So can I talk about Nathaniel McGill? Okay, Nathaniel McGill. So he claims. I heard some people saying that he said that it were orders from the president. So if the president tell you to go kill somebody, you go kill him. The protection that the Constitution has doesn't cover orders from the president. It covers the president when he admits the act. So you, McGill, you will have to pay for what you did, because Bernie Sanders went to prison. When he said Ellen Johnson told him to do certain things and he did it, he went to prison. Ellen Johnson was flying her private jet over the prison, not her private jet, but she was flying all over the prison, living her life. And he was denied a seat in the Senate because of that. So how now you can't tell us now because we are order you, so therefore you got immunity because the president. You think you're coming to play with our Constitution? Baka, you need to look. I will give you free consultancy. We'll find something in our Constitution to nail Nathaniel McGill for his crime. You're looking into that Constitution deep. Let that man go to prison. We're not here for that. All of them will pass down. They will be accountable for the money they stole. We're not going to allow it to happen. They will be held accountable.
But let me say this. So, look, I will say again. I repeat. I'm all for the prosecution of those who betray the public trust. I'm all for the audits and so forth. But let us do it fairly. We should not cherry pick. Let's be fair when we do it.
What's your definition of fairly?
Be fair. That means you should not just if you know that the audit, you got several audits in front of you. Make sure you take all the audits, do it holistically. Take all of them together. Don't just see the one that involving people from CDC or where people.
The government don't have the logistics to do that right now. The government can choose to start where they start. Where they start. And I will not be sitting down here talking for the government. I think not hurting me. But say that you have to say the government can choose to start where they start when they hard work push until they can have the full logistics where they want to start. They want to start.
No. What about CDC people, right?
Good. What
all the auditors that die for no reason. How they call her say Gifty Lama, like the one that held me to the everybody.
What I think is
Gifty Lama, and then you're coming down to President Baka. Start from anywhere you want to start. Let the people be audited. What we're trying to tell you here.
Great. What I think is,
but President Baka is not responsible, or he does not have the power to direct any audit from the commission. The commission is an independent agency.
Thank you.
The fact that he even telling the auditing commission, oh, we are going to audit the central bank, doesn't make any sense.
So
That's not his role.
how sure are you that he the one telling them?
He said it publicly. He came up publicly and said he said that the what you call the central bank should be audited, the national security.
Look, great. Let me
So
say
he can say it, but doesn't mean he detecting to them. He said it that they should be audited. The auditing committee or agency can decide. The LSCC or the GSC can decide to say, you know what, we will audit or will not audit.
So why they didn't audit the inaugural commission where $600,000 was mismanaged, was stolen? Why didn't they audit that? And why nobody's brought?
Let me say this.
And we should be calling on them to audit that.
Great. Let me say that it's almost impossible when you have old hand and new hand in the cookie jar. It's almost impossible to catch who hand in it.
And that's the reason why we say
it's almost impossible to catch the real hand. You got a new hand already started the cookie jar. The old hand like there's 200 in it. How will you even prosecute anybody?
Until you can put them out, until you can change your direction to a new one. Like bro, ain't going nowhere.
Look, man, there are some breaking news on our yellow machine, though, right, Tony?
Break it.
That some of the people who brought the yellow machine, they are part of a company. They are on the board of a company that brought the yellow machine to Liberia. It's going to come up. Keep filing closing argument. We got breaking. We got all the papers. It's coming up soon. Keep filing the closing argument very soon. That's why I'm talking now. You see, old hand and new hand in cookie jar.
All in the cookie jar together. But our great person still they would never let the two parties go. And that's why what country.
No, but they are the two leading parties in the country, though.
But Liberian people can decide for them not to be the two leading.
Liberian people know how to decide.
They can make that decision and say, you know what, these people will get rid of them because they don't get our country justice. For us to audit these people, we have to bring a new government with a new party that will be free of all this and audit these people to the core. You got money back. You got commies. You got Gonglo. All those people that can ready to pick the country and move it. I said no.
But then, Chris, the efforts at some point right now, right? Trying to put them together. Say, look, Cummings, Gonglo, and Money Back. You guys are not being tested. You guys come together. Maybe you include Ellis Jones there to say he haven't been tested too. So
yes, why not?
Yes.
You got Ellis.
You don't be a Gonglo and Cummings going to make no team. You know already know that one. Money Back, yeah, I can work with it.
Why you can work Cummings and Gonglo?
Because I think they're part of the problem. I think that they're in the past they have aligned with the people like Ellie Johnson. I mean, Gonglo worked with her, Gonglo been and to some extent.
What about Ellie minister? You know that?
Yeah, he was one of Ellie ministers. So you are correct, but I don't think he had the capacity. He was not in a position that I feel.
You negotiate with the government.
But I negotiator, he have a process so they like
No. What? Okay. So not everybody who work with them, but I saw people like Cummings and Gonglo to be strong supporters.
Cummings.
I didn't hear you.
Cummings work with Ellie.
Yeah, Cummings work. He was at International Bank. He was chairman. He also at PWI. He was close advisor of company of Ellie.
So on PWI board at all, and that was
no. But what I'm saying here, listen. What I'm saying is Cummings and Borka. Remember Cummings joined the CPP and Borka when I condemned that action. Cummings should have been condemning Borka from way back.
Right? Hey.
So, but listen, that's my preference. Like I said, maybe Moneybag and younger people are more biased towards them, and I will admit that because I feel that they have not been given a chance. I think Gonglo should be retiring now. Let other people come to the field. He had his time. He had his youth. So that's just my view.
You want Calabu to come on the show now?
We
need innovative
young leaders.
We need innovative new young people. I mean, we need people like the Lofa Julius, the Tomalin. Look, why we keep recycling the same people?
But look, and on this yellow machine, right? Look, the yellow machine. We said it before, right? For what we noticed, all that noise, I think, I know what happening, but the lawmakers there, and I said, the only way the
It's
machine,
job.
the lawmakers will be the one to make it, to decide. But now we know the laws were violated, the procurement procedure were violated, but yet and still, the yellow machines are still in the country, and mind you, they're about to be used. The president appointed, I think, the vice president in charge of the issue of the road connectivity now. So sooner or later, it'll get into effect. So the president is now calling the lawmakers back to session. They are on break now, but he said they should report. Which
And
is
they got to pay them. You know they got to pay them when they come back, right?
So he called them quickly to come back to session, to break their vacation, their break, and return to session. So what you guys make up with the president calling them back to session, the other machine still hanging around. What happened?
There are report out there. There are report out there that Mama Capability is a direct representative of that company to Liberia. So she knows exactly about that yellow machine. She's getting chopping on both sides, pretty much. Let me put it in Liberia English. But she's a part of that company that is bringing the yellow machine to Liberia. So she's profiting out of her business and making the Liberian government to spend money on that.
Which is a serious crime.
Which is a serious crime. Let me go around here. Everybody spend 2 minutes on it. Look for 2 minutes. So let's discuss that issue now. Look for 2 minutes.
So let me end my 1 minute that left. Okay. The fact is, the whole thing was planned. The whole thing was set up. She knew exactly what she was doing. It's not new company that it went through and negotiated with. She's been part of the people. She a part of them. She's a direct person from them in Liberia. She represents the interest in Liberia. Okay. So what we see here is, for me, nothing will come out of that. It's another vlog on the level, and nothing will come out of that. Liberian people will talk today and they be quiet the next day. They will find something. They will shake those senators' hand, and that will be the end of it. They will get the benefit, and that's the end. It's already over. So I don't care who can talk and talk. No machine are already in the rightful place, carry all the work that they need. We will just be talking for nothing. But the whole thing, Mama Capability knew exactly what she was doing. Okay, you know how much kickback she's going to get from her company and all of that. So what's your time, bro?
Lofa, wait, let me just say this. You coming right away. You know what made Ellen was so powerful in her political days, and I think we have the power to do it. I've said it before. The only people that our government in Liberia can listen to is the American people, right? Now, all of us here, Lofa in North Carolina, Chuchu, I think in Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
Grace is in Pennsylvania. People are in Pennsylvania. I'm here. Do you know that if you take the issue of Liberia to your lawmakers, and they can give you opportunity to go and testify to Congress, they can act on these things. So if Mama Capability is involved in this thing, don't feel that your talking is in vain. Use a representative. You find a way. You get answer to the representative, the senators in your state. Make use of them and complain. Say, look, and get the facts to them. They will look into it. Right now, as I speak to you, a congressional delegation is planning to go to Liberia now from the U.S. now. But they're planning to go to Liberia for the next couple of weeks. Now, if you know these people on that delegation, reach out to them. Say, when you get to Liberia, ask these questions. So, Lofa, what your take on this issue with the yellow machine, Mama Capability involvement?
Consistently, my take have been the same and will continue to be the same. The stolen machines should be returned. Honorable Borkai and Mama Capability both have my support. We will protect and defend them. Let them return the people's stolen machines. Come on back home and let us go through the actual procurement process when it comes to procuring equipment, because our reputation is on the line. Again, they have to do with Liberia. They have to do a lot with the people. You and I will have to travel through Ghana one of these days, okay? And the Ghanaians will look at you and I and say, you are from the country that stole our buses and you had to return it. And then we may have to travel to one of the countries where the stolen yellow machines were taken from by President Boykai and that of Madam Mama Peabody, and then we will have to say disgracefully and justify their action. The reason why I'm referencing these decisions as it is as stolen is because if you don't follow the process, if it is not done right, it is not done at all. They understand and they have the procurement process in their possession. President Boycott connived with Madame Peabody to steal those equipment and bring them secretly in the country at the expense of the people, taxpayers, because where it is being stored, okay, where those equipments are, if it was any regular business to have them put over there, remember they will have to pay storage fee or however it is termed. But guess what? Because Mama Peabody, President Boycott are part of the entire stealing of these equipment, so they are just being staged over there at the expense of Liberians. So what do we do then? We are simply asking, and we are in support of our government and trying to protect ourselves from disgrace to the outside world and say, let these people take the equipment back to where it came from, go through the proper procurement process, because all of us encourage the idea of rural rehabilitation or development. Who wouldn't want the county highway to be rehabilitated so that we can have adequate transportation, okay, access to food? It's unfortunate that we are sitting here and making this to seem like it's normal, it's okay that people can still continuously we embarrass ourselves. And that's the reason why I can say, and I close on this note, the reason why very often we are okay with making this a statement, which have become much more of a cliche in my mind. We can't compare ourselves with America. You know why? It's because we have accepted that bad things is okay in Liberia, and just let it fly. No bad things. We are smarter than the Caucasians, and I can put my neck on the ground. But we have refused to exhibit the intelligence that we are birthed with. So for that reason, they continue to just excel, and we continue to regress because the intelligence we were given by God divine intervention, we continue to ignore that reality and just walk away from it. We can be far better than the Caucasian or the Western world if we were sincere in our fight for development. Unfortunately, that is not the case. And that is the reason why I'm appealing to President Boycott, Mama Peabody, and the rest of the UP entourage to return the stolen yellow equipments and procure them adequately so that we can be proud that our government purchased equipment and we are now investing in agriculture, road development, and other things that are meaningful to Liberia. Until then, I think it's a disgrace to all of us Liberians. We should be embarrassed of our government and ourselves.
Grace, you know very well that those other machines not going back. You know, when I might put it on the ship to turn it back, they're not going where it come from. That one, let's leave that one. It's not going to happen. But Grace, look, I will say again, there's a U.S. delegation that's going to Liberia soon, or congressional delegation. They are in the works right now. They are going to Liberia very soon. We're working there, is in the work. So the best we can do. We in America, you have that power, you have that access. You can use your go through. Even the ambassador, we have an ambassador on the ground now. The ambassador Toners on the ground. You can send emails to them. Floor the officer the email. Say, look, our lawmakers, they're not in a position to help us because they're all compromised too with the executive. They're in bed with the executive. So right now we can depend on them. But you can go through the powers of your lawmakers in this country. Say, look, we are paying taxes in Liberia. Go through them. Say, look, right now, as you guys go to Liberia, these other machines is questionable. And when you guys look into it, investigate what happened, and you can call the some people that are involved. And I can tell you, look, when you start to put that pressure, that power on these people, things will happen. And I can tell you right now, some of them watching us now, they are worried that these guys want to pursue us through the higher authorities on their side. You can do it. So Grace, what's the tick? You think you guys can utilize your access to the lawmakers on this side and get them involved? Say, look, The people who elected to help us, they're not helping us. They are not doing it for us. They are doing their own thing. But when you are to intervene, to ask the question, how the yellow machine how were they procured, and what's going to happen? I mean, because they enough for free. You know that one. Nobody gave anybody free lunch. But Grace, so come in, Grace.
Tomalin, I think you're right, and we have done it before. We have written, especially with the last government when in power, we wrote. During Ellington, certain things we wrote, and they were accomplished. I'm telling you, they got librarians. Someone they're not even on the Facebook. They don't even talk about. You will not see them. They will be writing. We encourage all librarians to do that. The procurement process, like Lofa is saying, is very important because it gives accountability. It will give other, the machines that will be ordered to the country will make sure that those machines are right for the country. Means that everything on their fix. If it's spoiled, you can always send it. All those things that are into the procurement process. And if the government is not allowing the procurement process to take place, we shouldn't have the machine. We shouldn't look at ourselves as rogues. So you say, oh yeah, but the machine there, every project you said to fix the country. No, let's go through the right process. What Mama ability them, I don't know. We are hearing news. We don't know how true it is that these people, they're in it because of their own greed, because they got attachment to these companies and they're getting kickbacks and putting it in their pocket and allowing the librarian people to continue to suffer. I've been to the library, I share on the TCA platform on our WhatsApp group. The roads are very bad. All this delay is causing people to lose money. It causing people to die because before they get somebody to rush into the hospital, they kind of weigh you with rock from across the precept before you reach the intern. And you're pregnant, say you just delay in the car because they will finish bad and no medicine. So we know that the government need to do the rules, but we want them to do it the right way. And for people to be in the government trying to get kickbacks on these things, it's sad for a government who said the other people were in power, they were doing even worse, and then you come, you government say you worse up. Then we don't understand it. Joseph Waka, you needs to stand his ground right now. If he's not part of it, because Lofa accusing you of grievances, he's part of it. So I don't know. But if he's part of it, it's room for the person to be involved.
Great, you're telling the cabinet retreat. You ain't watched the cabinet retreat. I mean,
yes.
I think Boga acknowledged it. He acknowledged that, but I'm machine. He about
so, so he acknowledged it means that he involved. But when are you going to sit and if you personally supposed to know better? If your people doing this kind of thing, you learn so people in prison so that people can know that they can't do these things. Now you could be involved. Maybe you thought the procurement process went through because you are president. You cannot pay attention to everything in details. So you could be involved thinking that it went through the right process.
He said,
"I gave him the benefit of the doubt."
No, but me interrupting. He said the machine coming. He said the machine on the ship coming. So that day, but the next day, PR change it. PR say they're not well. You know what they're talking about. So that was so we're gonna say. So he was no.
So he was kind of in a no.
And
the thing is that if you are a voter or president who is alert, all these things not going to happen. And that's the reason why we said that the president was not in the man supposed to be with that. Just the truth to money. He's supposed, if that man was my father, I would never allow him for the people to go dragging in that position. I would not do it. I would never do it to my dad. I'm telling you. So maybe he was in a no, but he was not in a no again. You know, you say because the paper that maybe he never pay attention, and we are not looking for an excuse for him. But this is just totally wrong.
Joe Biden, Biden go sit down.
That one Biden look at the whole thing. He say, you know what? I will get it to Kamala. Right? The people say I old. The men say I was 29 years old. I became senator. They say I was young. They are president again. I won't go for my second thing. They say, oh, he said so. I will take it, and he gave it. I respect Biden. He's a real patriot. I have a lot of respect for that man. He will remain one of the best presidents for me that America ever had. And you know, I love George Bush. I just got separate love for him. The son, George Bush Jr. So I just see to you guys that the way you're proceeding with the government, the way you're carrying on, you're almost about to do 1 year, and we have not seen anything yet. For these people to just get in government, decide to just say they're coming to can't steal, and they were complaining what CDC was stealing. Then I don't understand how they bring people for that in. Seriously, they were just supposed to put CDC there and remain position, and we're going to continue to run on the economy. Let me tell you, Kev has answered on the platform. Oh, crazy loud, because you know Kev, he bring just taking one side. Sorry, Kev. You know I love you, my brother, but that's true. We telling you on the platform say we We the one made Bakari seller to refuse your contract to be lobbyist. Say that lie. I got letter to put the reply us. So I just look at it and like, because we like Prince, we still not with the right.
On the money, we are government.
Yes, we did. Because we don't need lobbyists coming in our country. While we just saying some future in our rep, we send him pictures and videos. Say, look at this. So go and lobby for that kind of government and see what it will do. So then that's the kind of thing like Prince should be doing. See, DJ, I know you're getting ready for me, man. Say, how you get time for you? So that But it's not the time. What Tomalin said, we have to pick up one of, for me. I would write. I always writing, but my thing is how many librarians would write. You did it for Stanton with this whole court case with him. A lot of librarians were affluent. A lot of your word that why his sentence was even leaning. A lot of your word that he doing things in the community, this and that. They should pardon him. This and that. I have that. I got that information. So why you looking right now for your country to change? How? So your pickup pen is not hard. Just write your representative and send an email to him. He will receive it. So like work can come back to where or better than where it was. And I always say my last statement before I close. Until you can focus, your future generation of children will be doomed. And it's sad for your children to grow up, even if we lead it where say, our forefathers kept us in this mess. They did this to us. And this our generation. We are the cause of what happened in that world because we never stood our ground. Although everything was taken away from us, but we came back instead of us saying, okay, you know what, we will change the country because our parents made some few mistakes, but it just got worse. Everybody getting power, they come to steal and take for them, the children and their family members, they forget about the country. And like, it's a beautiful place. Are you not seeing it? Are you guys not seeing our country beautiful? If we have a government that can fix our country, do you know the kind of proudness and the way we enjoy the country as Liberians? You got to think about that.
Chuchu Jones. So all the people that the delegation are going to Liberia, you think
Okay. So the fact is, I will not ask them to do anything. Liberians will get to the point where their choices should matter. Where the country, that all that even the stuff, bringing ECOWAS back and stuff, if you're not capable of governing yourselves, then you should not be independent. If you're not capable of selecting leaders that can bring unity, growth, and development, there's no point of election. 250,000 people die for nothing. Why should we be always calling on American people to go and tell our corrupt, useless leaders, oh, you need to do this. Oh, you know you need to do this. Then just put yourself on America, be a trust country if you're not capable to lead. The very same Barker, when we're talking about this man incompetence, his inability, his corruption. How would Barker not know that Mamaka ability is involved in this arrangement? I see what his name, Marty Colley here on his page talking about how President Barker is thanking Pearson, right? Yemadi Pearson for her service after a damaging GAC report alleges significant corruption. Wow. Besides, he has appointed James Wilfred as who has defaulted on 90,000 loan. Is this how to fight corruption? That the same article that sat here and said he will not criticize Barker, that says Barker is a man of integrity. So why should I waste my time to go write U.S. official? We got what we deserve, and we'll continue to get what we deserve. We said, yeah, the same people that who in government supported this Barker man. Okay, they're okay with anything wrong that he does. The only time you hear people talking when either it's against we are, then that when people, everybody now can hold a high standard. Okay, why when you hear the California criticizing not following Barker, not following the law? Why when you hear American criticizing Barker for not following the law? But we sit on this platform and we hear with these people. So we are the problem. We are the problem. So if I have to tell US anything, I would just say carry the United States troop there, remove the government, set up an honest government, because we can't run ourselves. And that will benefit the people better. That will be my message to them. That the government is corrupt, the president is corrupt, the legislature is corrupt. It has been that way. It will continue to be that way. If you want help Liberia, dissolve the government, maybe we need 5 years or to learn, be on a trusteeship, all right, so that we can get our acts together and we can know how to elect people and people don't go into power to get rich. That would be my message to them. But I'm not going to go and waste my time or, get rid of Mamaka ability.
Ability.
Burka knows all these things. And people in Liberia will support Burka. Look at all the disparity. Look at all the corruption. I say in 8 months' time, when the inauguration, how many of our friends will come all year and say the truth?
So, Alex, if you allow me, let me just use 30 seconds of your time. I'm pretty sure you can just expand on this part of it. Martin Cully, a lot of time, lacks understanding on what he speaks to. All right, the issue of defaulting on loans is not a crime. I defaulted on my student loans multiple times. I was never one day contacted to go to court. It's not a crime. So if he's using that to claim that this person who is being appointed to a position should not be considered because they defaulted on the loan, I want us to think again. This is why we often say being provided documentation to display on the social media don't make you knowledgeable of the situation. You understand what I'm saying? You spoke of his post that was talking about, he said this person defaulted on loan. Alex, you know what it is. Student loan. Student loans. How many of us have not defaulted on student loans?
Okay.
How many people have not defaulted on government loans or credit cards and other things in the United States? That should not be a determining fact. That should not be a determining factor when it comes to decision making as to who to employ. I think we should go beyond that. Have there been any criminal activity? Have they been a part of anything that is, just unacceptable? But if you're simply basing that decision on defaulting on loans, then it honestly speaks to the lack of understanding on the part of the young man. I just wanted to highlight that before you.
And I can respond in his defense. All right. The fact that central bank employees are taking loan from the central bank itself is criminal. Central bank is not a commercial bank. Even if you're president for the Federal Reserve, you can't go to the Federal Reserve and get a loan, personal loan. You go to a commercial bank. So that whole process is corruption, first of all. Okay. That's how these people that are part of the corruption investment. No central bank gives individual loans. They did that thing on a cover. All right. I discovered that 5 years ago and I wrote about it. Central bank is not a bank that open to give loans or stuff. So it's illegal. Secondly, the reason why I think his idea of this man defaulting of a loan, to be president of a bank or the central bank in Liberia, you have to come in good financial standing. That you cannot file bankruptcy in Liberia. There's so and so things. So you don't want somebody managing your central bank that can't pay his loan, which he took illegally. So I think that's the angle he comes, and it's in the bank charter. If you read the central bank charter, it says that people of good financial standing to help hold key position.
But here's the thing, though, Alex.
Look at Alex.
If I were,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just wanted to say this.
Yeah,
quickly,
he's trying specifically the central bank. So not
right.
Take a loan in America, you default. It doesn't matter. But in Liberia, to become central bank governor, you can't be defaulting on loans and being
Why it is true that I think it is the standing, your current standing as of the time of employment. It is not whether if you defaulted and you met up with your obligation, then it is okay. But if you are still in that range of default and you are yet to pay off your loan, then that is what you're speaking to, because I read on that, and that's what I'm saying. That is where I'm speaking to and saying the young man is limited on his knowledge. That's what
I just confused.
I read it comprehensively, and I know exactly what he's speaking to. That's what I'm saying. I think it's
and on this, right?
Let me say this.
Go ahead, Peabody. You're saying?
Let me say this. We'll sit there argue all day about Liberia and the laws and no law. There's no law in that country. The laws are there beautifully written in the book, and we do not follow. So I don't care what we sit here and talk about, oh, this and that. The country is a mess. It's a complete mess. Everybody take the law into their own hand, and the way it apply to them, that's how they're going to use it. And that's why you see Liberia is going left and going right, because there's nothing really. We don't follow laws. Even the Supreme Court on many occasions contradict themselves. On many occasions. So the thing we're seeing here, I don't know when it's going to end. I mean, yeah, one government will come in and take over. After 6 years, another group who have been sitting down for a while, everybody going pull now, they'll come back and start getting rich again. Unfortunately, the young people in that country will suffer. They'll suffer. Young people, nothing going to change. How long we've been talking about this? And every day there's news, another news of corruption, another news of stealing, another news of doing this. Everybody trying to display something. So unfortunately, we elected somebody who really was at a retirement stage. I mean, we awarded him a luxury retirement package. I mean, no offense, no insult to President Barker, but the fact President Barker is not strong enough to really make strong decisions. Where decisions are needed to be made, he can. And that's why we're going to see the country continue to deteriorate, because we continue to make the same mistake that Mr. Cummings said. You do the same thing over and over and expecting a change. You can't get no change going to come. So nothing good will come out of that place, unfortunately. Unfortunately, people are so dishonest to their little brothers and sisters. Look at how many university students graduating from the university don't have a job. Some kids graduate engineers. They have nowhere to even practice what they learn, and they sit there for the next 10, 15 years, and they forget everything they learn, and they go nowhere. You see, very smart young people just deteriorate like that. There's no hope for them. There's no hope. You sit there and talk. All these government coming, big show, fly. That's all I gotta say.
So, guys, let's end on this. Now, everyone knows that Allen White have been involved in our Liberian crisis, right? He been involved. He was instrumental in
that's bad.
In getting Chancellor to be convicted and sent to prison. Now, the court has now ruled that he should he's being held for the defamation and in Netherlands, I think. Now, do you think it has an effect on his role in Liberia now, especially in regards to the War Crimes Code? You think people would take him serious? Do you think the government of President Barker should continue to work with him? Should continue to deal with him with us hang over him? He's now being convicted for wrongdoing in the same issue about justice. What are your thoughts on Allen White right now? You think he should just leave Liberia alone and then focus on his case in the Netherlands? What's it?
Well, I think that Mr. White should do the right thing. In America, here, when you are found on these kind of crimes, I think you have to remove yourself from certain processes. So he should do the right thing and remove himself when it comes to Liberia problem, because he has to focus on his own stuff that's going on right now. And they got Liberians, very well educated and experienced Liberians that can handle when it comes to the war and economic crimes code in the country. So we should give our people a chance, because they actually had the experience when they came to the war, and they know how to handle with their background, education, and everything. So I think he should just remove himself, like what they would do here in this country, those kind of things. And you just remove yourself, either you resign or you just get the people that think back. But as Peabody was saying, for me, the future is always worth fighting for. Kamala Harris said that in her speech in the DNC convention. We will continue to fight for the future of Liberia. We will fight until God calls us from this earth. We are not going to stop. Although right now we've seen everything a little like fly in front of Peabody and Lofa then, but at the end of the day, they're still here fighting because they have some kind of hope, small tiny hope that something will change in our country. So we'll continue to speak, and we expect this government to do the right thing. Joseph Waka, I am so disappointed in your leadership, Mr. President. I am so disappointed. Although I did not expect anything less than what you are doing right now, I still just so disappointed, because you would think that when people are voted into power, see your country and the love that you have for that country, you work in government, you serve, you know, and still you just there and see these things happening. And that's the reason why you even told the people you wanted to become president to achieve some of these things. And people right under your nose doing corruption, and you can one of them cannot even be put to the post and say, okay, that person did this. Look at what happened in the inauguration. You think Yata Formula should not be investigated? This is not fair to our country. It's not fair to our people. It's not fair to our children. It's just not even fair to us ourselves. It's not fair to us. And that's why we're close on. I still think that you can change something and change around and do something better and be able to help Liberia in this process in your 6 years. Because I know after this UP government will never see power just now. That's what I would just say. They will not see power just now.
So, and in that light, regarding the issue of Allen White, I think the moral or ethical thing to do would be to recuse himself from the process in Liberia until his hearing is complete or completed in wherever it is ongoing. But I want to also remind us that Allen White is not and will not serve as your lawyer, neither will he serve as the judge. His position as it is today, a lot of people continue to misconstrue the entire process. His role here, he's a lobbyist. What do lobbyists do? They lobby to get something done, something accomplished, something that most Liberian who may have been part of the process yesterday and today could not do because they were about themselves. They fought about who stands here and who stands there and who's doing it, and they were fighting among themselves. Not a single one of them thought to go and register themselves to serve as a lobbyist on behalf of the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court in Liberia. Okay? We can't sit here and say at the end of the day, if he was able to do it, serving as a lobbyist to get us to at least put our foot on the pedal to the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court, that must be considered. We must appreciate the fact that at least today we are talking about it. We are discussing the possibility of the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court in Liberia. Nevertheless, that does not negate the fact that he should not recuse himself from the entire process based on the current allegation against him wherever it is going. But I say again, because we as Liberians, we lack the ability to unite and work together to make sure that we are successful at what we want, we have to rely on other people like the Caucasians to get us through the door. And that is why an Allen White is serving in the capacity in which he serves today. That should not have been the case, because as Grace rightfully said, there are competent Liberians who could probably get the job done, but unfortunately, they weren't able to stand up and step up. So Allen White used that opportunity and said, look, I am a lobbyist and I am going to lobby. And every lobbyist in the world globally, they work for money, yeah? A lobbyist is like a salesman, a car salesman. That is the literal definition or term of who a lobbyist. They negotiate. Get this done. I get my cut. You get your cut. I leave. That is who a lobbyist is. And in the position Allen White found himself in, that is what he's doing. Because those who probably should have done it, they could not get it done because we are selfish. We are greedy, self-centered. That's who we are as Liberian, and that's why we will not accomplish, or we may, excuse me for not saying we will not, but we probably may not accomplish what we want, and that is justice and accountability for Liberian. Thank you.
You know, before Alex comment, look, I've always questioned Allen White's interest in Liberia. I knew it was not there he was not there really to advocate for Liberians to get justice. I questioned that. And we saw from the recent testimony of the people that he planet that went against other human rights organization. We saw that. I don't think he was there in the interest of Liberia. I don't want he just get to make his money and get out and leave with Liberia. Or Liberia. The fact is, what kind of country are we? Somebody hit your door, you call international community. Somebody fat, you call international community. Somebody drunk, you call international community. Somebody steal, you call international community. What kind of country that you can't even take care of yourself? Everything is international community. International community, U.S. government, U.S. embassy. How many letters you will keep writing these people? You think they're not tired of getting letters from you? It's like you can't make decisions on your own. Every damn thing is international community.
You clear with somebody fart?
They fight all that international community. What is that? Everything.
Because the government don't listen to the people. The people speak to the government, they don't listen. So
He's not in there to help us. Otherwise, a super con. And he's being embraced by the Liberian government. He's a lobbyist for this Liberian government and all of that. He's a lobbyist. He's making money for them already. He's working with them. Okay? And we send every little thing. International community. Just tell them to kind of live there now and take over Liberia. That's all I gotta say. That's all.
Okay, so let us end on a good note. At least we're being bashed and bashed, but look, we'll give the president.
Don't forget about our program, our fundraiser for September.
Yeah, we'll speak on it later on. Yeah, I'll say.
Okay, let me go and then you can close if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, hold on. We're closing now?
Yeah.
That's my closing statement.
Okay.
So I agree with Grace that we can't lose hope, that we have to keep fighting, and I want to really applaud you guys. The battle may seem impossible, but I still believe that good leaders will emerge in Liberia. Good representatives and senators will emerge. There are Liberians who are good people. Not all. We got a few, bad people who have hijacked power, and so we just got to remain focused. At the right time, I think Liberia is changing. I think some of the things now that people are outraged about before, they were not even outraged about it. I think there's a platform that people can express themselves. We can all disagree and agree with each other. Those are progress. I agree with Lofa about Alan White's role in Liberia. He's a lobbyist. And, we can't blame somebody. It's like a lawyer who is defending a criminal. You're gonna attack the lawyer. The man is doing his job. He's doing his business. If we step out, we got plenty of lawyer in the Congolo them. That's what they should be doing. We Verdia. They got plenty of some good lawyers. Why are they not on the international scene to advocate for Liberia? So I think we shouldn't blame other people for our problem. I think we're getting to the point now where we're realizing that the past leadership in Liberia got us where we are, and to move forward, we have to take a drastic change. We have to break from the past. What gave me inspiration is Senegal. Okay, if the people can come together in Senegal and remove the corrupt regime, the regime that was puppet for France. France is a very powerful country. They stood up against France and they said, we want to lead ourselves. We want a new future, a new direction, and we're not going to be intimidated. Liberia can do it too. So I think we come to that point where, there's a lot, we're very cynical of each other. I think because everybody has been so bad. So tomorrow, if, Tomalin wants to run for something, I would just put him in the same category. Grace wants for something, but you can't hold somebody for something they haven't done. I'm not going to those who have not served, I will support them. When you get there and you do wrong, but I will never support anybody in Liberian politics that have been part of, served in the past in a key position, and they just want to come back and back. And I think you're on this thing attacking me about the California. It's not that it's personal, it's just that the fact that if you serve, and today you read the news, Liberia defaulted on a loan at the IMF, at the World Bank. We're in a serious economic collapse right now. Who caused those collapse? It's the same Burma Kamara, the same.
Somebody
right? serious collapse. So our problem has not started
Alex,
yet. We just
serious
They're ending on the good news now. The good news is that,
Yeah.
we are in an advanced age of technology, and we've been beating on Boaga, but let's give him this credit now. Boaga 10,000 youth digital transformation program, training program, is in full swing.
Wow.
We have thousands of youths, the earning certificates, training certificates, the Liberian digital transformation.
Tomalin, don't do that.
No, let me finish. Let me finish. The Liberian digital transformation project is in full swing, and we'll be having someone to come here to come and talk about it. It's in full swing, and thousands of youth across the country are benefiting from it. And they'll come present the facts here. They will come here and they will ask the questions, but they'll come and talk about our project. So we can't just come all the time. They're bad, but our platform different. We just bad, but I thought a good thing to that. So we made the 10,000 youth digital training program is in full swing. It's been well supported, and they are now benefiting from it. And someone will come here to come talk about that program this week. So
I applaud that. Let me say that I applaud that. I mean, if that's something great that is benefiting the young people, I want to applaud that. And again, as you said, we're not here to just bash. Yeah, but let's also, when good thing happen, it's good to recognize it as well. That what make you versatile in the politics.
Well, the facts don't lie. They will come here. They will come on the platform. They will come and talk about the program. We'll ask the questions. Yeah, Lofa, go ahead.
I'm glad that you said they are coming on this platform to defend what you're talking about. You're talking about technology. Tomalin, the Microsoft suite. I'm not talking about computer, the entire computer. I'm saying Microsoft suite, just the application. Can you learn Microsoft suite in 6 months? 6 months. Can you, Tomalin, hold on 1 second. I'm asking you a question. You live in the Western world. All of you on here, can you learn the Microsoft suite? The combined application, Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, and all of the different applications that comprises of Microsoft, because people misunderstand when you talk about
your point. You're trying to downplay what people doing.
What I'm telling you, the nonsense that they're trying to project out there is complete nonsense.
Why do you just condemn all the time?
I'm sorry that I appear to
No,
be
but I think
negative.
Listen, to Lofa's credit, Lofa is the IT specialist.
Let me land. Timberland. No, I don't just condemn because you know what? This was the
condemn. The people trying to make effort.
No, but even if it's basic, I think we should recognize it. I could learn an application in 6 months. Yes.
Timberland.
Not to your standard. Not to your standard. Not to your standard as an IT specialist. I can learn application in 6 months.
Dr. Peabody, let's stop this, man. I think we continue to fool the general public. We allow.
No, we can't. Look, we can't just condemn everybody like Nigeria. I don't agree.
Let a man finish. That's his expertise. You know what he's talking.
Is that the point, though? Look, I don't on the platform yet. I bet you I work. You're not working manually again. I don't ask you. You go into your office, get on your computer now. You log in your account. You submit your reports through. You're not doing handwriting report yet. No more. Nobody doing
that does not make you knowledgeable. So
get credit.
Basic. What you're talking about here is basic computer knowledge. Okay. What we are talking about when you speak about technology as what was described, you're fooling the innocent people out there. Don't bring nobody in the classroom where you don't have a lab where they can actually practice what you're teaching them. You teach them the theory. Hold up. You see, you guys will not let me talk. Again, I am willing to, because this is my area. I will stand here and I challenge the person you invited. Bring them on. Let's have this conversation.
Lofa, you have 2 minutes finish.
Yeah,
I mean, no. How is my 2 minutes finish when they keep continuously interrupting me?
You can take my 2 minutes, Lofa. Lofa, take my 2 minutes closing.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you,
If they
Alex.
are doing basic computer, then I say
Let
we
them
should
finish.
applaud them. You don't expect them to get on that level, you Lofa. You are IT specialist.
I'm not
You
asking.
expect
I'm not
them.
asking them. I'm not asking them. So you know what I'm on. You know what I'm saying.
Learning computer literacy.
I am not. Thank
That's what
you.
I'm saying.
Thank you, Alex. Thank
How to turn the
you.
computer on, how
That
to open
is
Word, how to read a
That
letter.
is what you
That's not
teach.
IT or
See,
technology.
Tomalin, for the past,
And the man name is Tomalin. Just as for my his name is Tomalin.
Tomalin, however you may want to pronounce his name. My point here is this: it's simple. If you want to provide computer literacy classes to people, we appreciate that. That way, they understand how to turn the computer on and log in with their credentials and all of these things. It come in a little bit better than what you're talking about. You're projecting to
Okay,
the
just say the man choice of word may be different, but you can't say. I mean, what Lofa? You are a computer especially or whatever you are. You don't expect those kids learning how to turn on computer, learn basic computer stuff to be an IT specialist. You don't
I think it's a
expect
good thing the government is bringing to like.
I think it's good.
So let me tell you first of all, right? In every community college out here, they give you intro to computer.
Yeah, you should learn at university.
So you guys will now let. This is where we continue to create
No, Lofa, you speak on a higher note.
At this point, it's
speak on a higher note.
unbearable.
You talking about community college,
We want to get just anything out of everything. Okay, we should not continue to just push for the bare minimum. We can get the best out of
So
like
can I ask you?
How do you get to the best, Lofa? How do you get to the best? You don't start from somewhere. Did you just get up there and you started from somewhere?
Lofa,
Lofa.
I got one question for Julius. When I went to that bird recently, I noticed that my iPhone, whatsoever, I think I'm using the latest version.
I'm not providing tech support here tonight.
No, I asking you quickly. My iPhone went to 3G, right? So concerning what they're saying that they're coming from to Liberia. Is it going to work since I think the network is 3G? Because when I went to Ghana, it went back to 5G. And then when I enter Liberia, it goes back to 3G. So that's why I'm confused.
Okay.
We don't have the 5G.
If you asking for lesson?
This is
you're talking plenty now.
So what you're talking about is you're talking about the network, okay? Bandwidth.
Okay.
If you don't have the bandwidth, of course, you're not going to get.
Yeah, I got
what happened? I mean, again, like I said, right? What would you always push for? I have a video. It was just a matter of fact, I played on Second Thought Africa yesterday. The Secretary of State, we had to literally organize, and my team put that entire meeting together where they were giving out grants to the state. Several grants were provided, but what I'm talking about here is
what were the people to help them?
Allow me to talk.
You
know, when you guys, again, this is why I often say this, right? When it comes to certain area of expertise, you guys will say, this guy is the expert here. I'm not an expert. I am not an expert.
Nobody condemning what you're saying. But what we saying
I understand you're not condemning what I'm saying because you cannot condemn what I'm saying.
Just give credit to something. That's all. That's your era. We know that. You know you're an expert.
But again, Tomalin, let us not fool the young people who are coming into this field and making them. I've heard a lot of young people, and I will tell you this. I didn't want to say it, but I'm going to say it right. I've had young people reach out to me and be like, Bobby, I graduated from this computer school. I went there for a year, and I have been doing computer. And I say, okay, can you just go tell me what operating system is on your computer? That person don't even know it. They will say, oh, we got computer. And I say, tell me what operating system and the version of operating system. It just takes one thing for you to do and understand, because that is the basic. And what I'm saying is, if we want to move forward, in all honesty, we must start to equip ourselves. The reason why people would leave Liberia to go to Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Nigeria and other places to bring IT, or India to bring IT experts in our country to do the bare minimum job in our country, is because our young people are not adequately prepared to do these things. So if we are giving them, for example, let me end this note. Tomalin.
It may be an error, but you can't outright condemn everything.
So Tomalin, okay, so let me give you guys this example, right? We suggested to Darius DeLon to build a website for his office. You know what he did?
Do you know website or no?
No, yeah, exactly. That's why I brought it up. You know what he did? Darius DeLon built for himself a commercial, independent website for him and not his office. If he was knowledgeable and who was supporting his decision, they would have suggested to him, instead of you having to open a DariusDelon.com, you will either open something that is in connection with the legislature or the House site.
But why should you do that way?
Let me first, I give him credit where he did. I gave him credit.
No, but now you give him credit. It's not. It's his personal site.
No, but the idea, everything about the office is on our website. Go there.
It is not. It is not the county
website. The government provides money.
Gives me money.
And Lofa,
we should give people credit. This is the first time in the history that the government has implemented this. Let's give them credit. You can't just come and condemn something like that. That's wrong.
I agree with Lofa on this.
We criticize them all the time. But when
just for the program, I agree with Lofa. For the program of computer literacy.
Stop it. I get them credit. I get them credit for
of course.
I get them credit.
So get them credit for having computer literacy, not IT.
The people in the studio gotta go.
For our students, they're gonna come here. Students will be on the platform. We'll talk to them.
I will be here to quiz them too.
Yeah.
When did they come in?
No,
when are they coming?
Chuchu, it's not yet coming to just condemn the kids. They are learning.
We should we're not here to condemn them.
We should encourage them.
Government,
I don't know how you're doing part of politics, but when someone does something good,
that's a Peabody.
The government is very deceptive.
Your kids just talk one at a time, please.
The government is very
deceptive. I don't just condemn things. Let's give credit where it's due.
Dr. Peabody, let me tell you something, right? You would not appreciate your child, as smart as you are. You would not appreciate your child if they were to come home with a C average. You will first of all say, good, but then these are places where you can enhance or improve on. And I'm telling you,
should have waited for them to come before you sit on.
No. What I'm telling you here, I spoke of DeLon's decision, his idea is good, because I beat on DeLon for years, and Chuchu came and added to it. Let me credit Chuchu as well. Finally, he came up with a website, but it is not the government who asked for the office website.
But let me ask you a question now.
Office website.
That is not his office website. That's his personal website. It's a .com.
Yeah, but everything about the office on our website. So
that don't make it his office website, Tomalin.
You're not educated people. Okay.
I got a website myself for my organization. Chris. I commend the government on this one. I commend them. I do. I commend them.
Can I ask a question quick?
Like ABC computer, I commend them. Chris. I'm not here to condemn everything. I'm here to criticize as well. And show gratitude for good things that people do.
Listen to me. Yesterday, I never do that. All along, I'm having money. I've been making money on Facebook. I didn't know. Yesterday, happy birthday. One day, our church anniversary from there, one lady told me, said, hey, all the money you got here. I was surprised. I'm making money on Facebook. I know on you. Because
how much you made?
The money goes straight to my account.
How much you made?
So he had good bid though. When the lady tried to fix it, something he had good bid in it.
I was surprised. Because I mean, I'm
But
now,
say, I want no money now. We all making the money on the first, but you want to take it for yourself?
I was sure
But look, nobody.
No, people that want to ask Julius.
Grace, we gotta go. Got 2 or 3 more minutes.
Just one
Look,
question quick. The government supposed to have an intranet, right? Not internet, but intranet or system for all the government employees to have their emails and everything. So I don't understand what you're talking
that
about.
government on your play with.
actual fact, I agree with the guy.
Okay.
I agree with that, but the idea, comment Dylan for what they don't have done for his office too. Commend the man.
I ain't commenting. They don't been too long to just have a website.
So let me answer the question, right?
Mhm.
Before Dylan excellency to the position, these things were recommended. When you want to do something, do it the right way. We always settle for mediocrity, and that's not how we'll move like going forward. To answer your question, yes, the intranet, okay, that is within, and the internet, that's not something you control. But the issue of domain control, the government can purchase her own. At this point, your government officials are still using Gmail, Yahoo, and all of these different commercial email addresses.
Lofa, you're still Dylan. Good night. You're still Dylan. You should put Dylan the domain server we left Dylan.
I'm supposed to set up. You see, this is
Look,
the
guys,
problem.
man, I gotta go. It's late. I gotta go.
Now you want to defend the Lord. You see this? There you go. You feel the Lord. You know what?
Lofa,
Thank God my records are out there.
Lofa, you're IT specialist.
Tomalin, my records are out there. When recommendation were made, people said I was begging for job from the Lord. People said I was begging for contracts. What I'm telling you is, based on my expertise, I was recommending publicly what needed to be done. Not an individual. What Grace is asking is a salient question. She's asking what needs to be done. The Lord should not be hosting or paying for a private commercial site. We should be hosted. This should be a government platform. Okay, that's what I'm talking about here, and you guys are not getting my point. My point here, it should be a government or